This is a test.
This is a test as well.
I think that we're both testing well.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's my death metal growl.
Death metal growl for the season finale.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, well then, shall we?
Yeah, let's give it a 10 go.
Hello and welcome to the Rebels Cast, or just Rebels Cast, as we talked about last week. The thee or to not thee. Who is to say? But who is we? We is Nick, and we is... He has to figure out who he is, folks. It's tradition. It's important.
Stacy Barnyard.
Stacy Barnyard. Where the crap did you get Stacy Barnyard from?
Well, Stacy can be a guy's name.
And Barnyard is a well-known last name.
Well, that's just where I was born.
Oh.
In the barnyard.
In the barnyard. So people say, were you born in a barn? You'd be like, no, I was out in the yard, actually.
Right.
So it's okay for me to not close the door because I was born close to the barn.
Exactly. You ever walk around...
No, I never have. Not once in my life, Josh. Thank you for that.
Did you ever roll around?
Oh, well, maybe.
Or flop around with your zipper down and your mom said to you, your cows are going to get out?
No, that never happened to me.
It happened to me all the time.
Really?
I didn't zip my pants up well.
I had a real problem with that. So,
Because, people say close the barn door?
Yeah. Okay.
That's not what my parents said. They just said the cows are going to get out.
Cows are going to get out.
Yeah. So they cut straight to the chase.
Straight to the... Fair enough. Oh. So we are glad to have you with us for this episode of Rebels Cast.
Yes.
As
season finale.
The season finale.
Not only of Rebels, but of Rebels Cast.
That's right, because we're going on break.
Yep, we're going to have to, because our original plan was to continue doing episodes on the episodes that Jonathan and Nikki did not cover.
Right. And we are still going to do that.
Yeah, we are going to do that, but we can't do that until they come out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because we could get them digitally and everything, but since Nick and I are both going to buy them on Blu-ray...
We might as well just wait.
Yeah, might as well wait, because that's just wasting money.
That's right. And you don't need it, Disney.
Right. You got enough.
You got enough of my money.
You already made your George Lucas money back.
So, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about that. It's like, we're going to spend all this money to buy a Lucasfilm. We'll make one movie, get it all back.
Yeah.
All right, now we're good.
Ridiculous. George probably should have asked for more money.
That's right. But, I mean, I was going to say, but, he gave it all to charity. But, yeah, exactly. So he should have asked for more, that he could have given to more charities.
Yep.
So, which I still think is really cool that he gave most of his money to charity. But,
It's like that's twice he's done that. It's like, because he did that whole thing several years ago where he donated half his entire fortune to charity. And then, with the Star Wars money, he donated the majority of that to charity. It's crazy.
What a horrible man.
Yeah, he's so horrible.
Such a jerk. And all about the money. He's just in it for the cash.
Right.
Doesn't matter to him about the quality of the product or anything. He just wants the money, the moolah. Show him the money. That's right. You morons. So, let's see, where were we going with that? Oh, yes. So, Blu-ray.
Yeah. Once we get them on Blu-ray,
then
we'll go back and we'll do those. Because it's only like 4 episodes?
Yeah, I think
they missed, I think. But yeah, we will go back.
We'll go back.
We'll go back.
Yes. But until then, we'll be going on break.
Right.
But now, if you want to hear our lovely baritone and whatever my voice, if you want to hear our voice... Oh, by the way, he's Josh.
Yeah, that's me. Not really Stacy Barnyard.
Stacy Barnyard.
That's just a joke.
Oh, I get it, because you said a name that's not your name. That is a name that is unrealistic to have been your name. I understand. I am smart.
We're smart.
Make us go.
That's number 1.
That's number 2. Yeah, so if you want to continue to hear us, though, this does mean that we'll be going back across the street to the Interdoctum, and we will be resuming Interdoctum transmissions about wonderful things.
I've got some plans for the Interdoctum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they good plans?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about at least one of them. So I won't give it away here.
Okay. You won't give it away now?
I won't.
That's right. And you won't yabba dabba 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 do now?
Won't.
That's right. I won't. Well, I won't be safe on you.
I won't.
Now, you get 30 points if you know what that song, the name of that song. You get 30 points if you know who sang that song. And you get a 50 points if you know the name of the background or backup female vocalist.
Oh, yeah.
That was on that track.
That's a good one.
And maybe even like another 5 points if you know the name of the band that she ended up becoming a part of.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to get a lot of points right now.
That's a lot of points.
This is like Final Jeopardy question. You know? You could come right back, and you don't even have to trick Alex Trebek into saying Turd Ferguson.
Nope.
And so it works out well for you. Let's see. So we're going to do some things. Apparently, we're not going to spoil it right now. But sorry, Chair. But it should be some exciting things. And we're also be on the lookout on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because the Interdoctum is going to be getting a YouTube channel.
That's right.
And it's going to have all kinds of fun on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be. You're gonna watch it and be like, "This is why they invented the internet."
Yeah, and the thing is, when you watch the videos, you're gonna be like, "Okay, that's why these guys are stupid." Like, because I mean, seriously, the things that Nick has done so far, it's like that's basically when we make references to things, that's what's actually going through our head.
Yes.
Like, so you will have an
inside look into our minds.
Straight up.
It's like distilling us into little essences.
Yeah.
In H.264 format. And it's going to be, well, for us it's going to be awfully exciting. For the rest of the world, I
don't think there's any way that people can watch what you've done so far and not laugh.
Well, it's funny because my wife thought that she could, but she could not.
She could not.
We were telling her about it, and she was giving us that, like, she chuckled, and we're like, Josh was like, see, aha. And she's like, no, I'm just laughing at you guys laughing about the video that you made. And so then before we came in here to record, we had her watch it, and she cracked up.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's going to be fun stuff. It's going to be exciting. But today we are here to talk about our Star Wars Rebels.
Yep.
As we finish season 2, and the rumor is that this might be the second of 3 seasons total.
Talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah. So the rumor is that Disney is going to do 3 seasons of Rebels, and that'll be it. And then there will be a new Star Wars show after that. The rumor for that new show, by the way, is that it will be set post Return of the Jedi.
Awesome.
Which is what we've said is an era that we would love to have explored. Yeah. Now, the notion of there only being 3 seasons of Rebels, I think we have some good reasons to think that this might be legit. One, apparently Dave Filoni in some interview somewhere said they were already thinking about what the next show will be. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But, it could be like video game systems. You think about it years and years and years in advance.
True that.
But still. But then there's also the fact that there is a long and storied history with Disney Channel programs, cartoon shows that is, only lasting 3 seasons. Most of them do.
Yeah.
The ones that went longer, like Kim Possible and Phineas and Ferb, they were
and Good Luck Charlie.
And Good Luck Charlie wasn't so much animated. No. Really, if you think about it. but nonetheless, we'll accept it. So Kim Possible and Phineas and Ferb and Good Luck Charlie. Those shows, it was kind of like, it was a noticeable thing that they went for longer than 3 seasons. Yeah. So 3 seasons is kind of normal. And I
wonder what they're going to do with Girl Meets World. It's like, you've got to go more than 3 seasons with that, or it makes no sense.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll go with that one as long as the audience is there to let them go.
Okay, good.
At least until, the girls go off to college.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Corey will have to go to college with them.
That's right.
And they'll make a joke about it, and it'll be great. But so, I guess typically it is more of a cartoon show thing than a live action show. Although even then, you typically don't have Disney live action shows that go for many years.
Yeah.
Hannah Montana, of course, was one, but that was again that's a juggernaut.
How many years did that go?
Oh, about 30. No, it was probably 6 to 7, maybe even more than that. Because if you go back and watch the pilot, I mean, them girls was little. And they were like graduated high school when the show ended, I think. So it was probably 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. And then I think the other thing that might suggest a 3-season arc is that, as you pointed out, boy, this feels like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, big time.
Just kind of ending it on that.
Yeah, kind of like things are grim note.
Yes. Yeah. Stuff has gone down.
Yeah.
And it ain't come back up yet. Kind of thing. So,
and like some of the ways that this thing ends, like, I don't know that there's necessarily coming back from this.
Yeah.
Like, this kind of changes the Rebels world forever.
Yeah, it really does. Which we will get to.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted to...
No.
Okay. We will go in order then. Okay, yeah. So we'll begin with the episode that was... Well, we had 3 episodes left to cover, and it was best to do it in one show. So it's the one that was not a part of the 2-parter.
Yeah.
It kind of leads up to it a little bit. We'd wondered if it was going to lead up to it, how directly it would, and it turns out not overly directly.
No,
but it's still it was a good episode, but it wasn't a blow your mind episode.
Yeah,
and that is The Secret of Chopper Base. So, what did you think of the episode as a whole? And then we'll kind of talk about it. We'll just briefly kind of go through it because obviously we're going to be spending the bulk of our time talking about
we want to get to the good stuff,
the beefy stuff.
Yeah,
but so we'll spend a few minutes here. What do you think about Chopper Base Secret?
It was okay.
Yeah,
like it was like there were some things like some small subplots that were going on that were pretty good.
Yep.
But like the main plot of the thing was just kind of like it was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Because essentially the entire episode is really about just the Ghost Crew defending their new base from these squid spider monster things.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of standard.
Yeah, it's like the subtext, I think, is really more where this episode is living, in that it's, like you say, plot-wise, it's that. It's just, we've got to defend ourselves from these nasty things. But our characters are dealing with the whole notion of separation. They're dealing with, because again, the episode, I think, pretty much begins even. Well, yeah, early on you've got this sequence I think they're in the Ghost, but where Ezra and Kanan are fighting. Yep. And everybody knows that when Ahsoka gets back from wherever Ahsoka went,
they're leaving.
Yeah, because of the aforementioned, we're endangering the mission. We're a magnet for the Inquisitors, so we've got to get out of your way.
Yeah.
And so the separation that's going to cause, and especially with Hera and Kanan, is kind of the underneath the surface thing that gives the episode sort of its beefiness, but it's really just giving itself the beefiness in lieu of or looking towards the beef of the finale. So
and there are kind of some setups Ezra wise. That for his character are kind of lead into the next episode a little bit more of his kind of
Willie
descent.
Won't be evil.
Yeah, maybe he might be a bad guy.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Which how do you think that's been handled in terms of the?
It's kind of a lot of it's just kind of come full force in the last several episodes.
Right.
But I think it's been handled okay.
Yeah.
It probably could have benefited from more of that setup in the first season.
Yeah, a little more subtlety early on.
Yeah.
And a more gradual kind of build up.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It's not like it's happened in an overly artificial sort of way. And especially the way when Ezra and Yoda were talking.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes perfect sense that it's like, okay, now they can talk because they're back at the temple and Ezra's stronger, so now they can actually talk a little bit more And then Yoda can be like, "Oh, you're gonna be evil," you know. So that was the worst Yoda impression I've ever done.
Oh, I'm Yoda. I promise I am.
I'm Yoda. I'm Yoda. I'm go over here. I'm Yoda. Angry you are. Bad it is. I'm Yoda. I'm Yoda. I'll keep it going. I'm Yoda. You, sir, are not Yoda. Yes, I am. You know, Star Wars would have been a very different franchise if that's how Yoda had talked.
Yes, it would have.
There's something familiar about this place, R2. I don't know. I feel like what? Like we're being watched? Why put your weapon in me in the heart? I'm wondering why you're here.
Man, I hope you won't.
I cannot teach him. Much angry like his father. When 900 years old you'll be, looks good you will not, huh? Huh? I don't know that people would like that character as much.
No.
I was excited about this new Star Wars movie, but that weird Muppet was just creeping me out. I don't like Star Wars anymore. They need to make another Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
But so anyway, yeah, I think Yoda talking to Ezra. I think definitely it made perfect sense that it would sort of start to come out then. So talking about the episode, of course, again, as I mentioned, you've got this scene early on where they're training, and it's this kind of bittersweet thing. The ladies, Hera and Sabine, are looking on, and on the one hand, they're kind of like, oh, the boys are being boys, but on the other hand, they both kind of know what's going on. And Hera maybe more so than Sabine, but they both kind of realize it. And I thought it was interesting. I kind of got this feeling that from the time of the last episode until this episode, they had been training a lot.
Yeah.
And it's, of course, partially because of the fact that they were going to go to Malachor, we're going to find the Inquisitors, blah, blah, blah. But I also wonder how much of it is because of what the Grand Inquisitor said to Kanan.
Yeah.
That this whole notion of you can't save him, you fight, it's going to cause trouble. And when Kanan says, all I can do is the best that I can do, and then he knights him, if that sort of lit a fire under him.
It was possible.
That's kind of the vibe that I got.
Yeah.
So they're on this new base, and they've got folks that are out there setting up the beacons, the sensor monitors, and one of the crew of the rebellion, Dicer is her name, sets up the little thing, and some monster gets her, and it's you could tell that she's about to buy it. And I'm like, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, man, another nondescript female A-wing pilot is about to buy the farm. What is it about this show? It's like, we don't want no women A-wing pilots. We're going to kill them all off.
Start a social justice warrior war.
We should get on Twitter. We'll call it like female A-wing gate or something.
Yeah.
And it'll be great. And it'll be just, but yeah.
I think the women A-wing pilots are vastly misrepresented because of the fact that they all look the same.
Yes.
We all know that women do not all look the same.
No, they have variety.
That's right.
They are the spice of life. And so we will get on our social justice platforms and we will scream.
That's right. And we're also going to scream for the Imperial soldiers who are men.
Yes.
Who they all look the same too.
Yes. Stop with the men. All looking the same. Men are the spice of life. And they have different looks to themselves. See, it's very good. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
And then you get a cause and everybody rallies around. You're like, I'm gonna boycott crap. And it's
just
great. That's what you do.
Stuff gets done.
That's right. That's how we roll in this world now. That's how we change people's hearts. By pestering them on the internet.
really silly.
It really is. When you stop and think about it.
Like, because the thing is, with the internet, it's like, it's something I don't understand about the social justice warrior stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like, you can just turn the internet off.
Yeah.
Like, just don't listen
to
it
Now you don't
anymore.
have to hear them.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. It's not like there's this actual blue bird that's like walking behind you and like forcing you to hear things.
Right.
You know, the Twitter bird.
The Twitter bird,
yeah. You just like, I'm going to put my phone down. Or even I'm going to hold my phone, but I'm not going to open up the Twitter app.
Right.
It's a weird thing.
Like, why is Twitter so ingrained in us now that we have to use it?
That's right.
It's like, I don't use it. I mean, like, I think I have a personal Twitter page, but I don't use it.
Me either.
And I'm probably going to delete it.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine for the Inner Dorkdom to have its own Twitter page. And, like, I think stuff like that is good. Like, anything you can do for promotion purposes and stuff. Yeah. Like, social media is great.
Yeah.
But, like, I just don't like the idea of it. And maybe it's just because I'm old.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea of just getting so wrapped up in that stuff
that you just
got to just plain need it.
This is Josh's "I'm an old man, get off my lawn" moment here.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I'm with you on it. See, because like I have a Twitter account, but I don't ever tweet anything.
You're right. Yeah.
And I typically have followed. Again, it's like I kind of treat it like a news source. You know, in terms of, you know, so I follow like Nintendo and I follow certain game developers like, you know, Way Forward and, you know.
And it's like at the start of it, that's fine. But then it turns to the point where even those people are like, let me offer you my political opinion.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care.
Stop. I just want to know what movie you're doing next.
Yeah, exactly. I like your acting in this television show. I don't need all of this stuff, you know? And if I did, I would have I follow Chuck Woolery on Twitter because he's, you know, he's a conservative. I don't agree with everything he says, but it's like, it's a different perspective. But it's like, I wasn't like, man, I want to get the Scrabble guy. I want to follow the Scrabble guy, you know? But then it's like, I'll turn around and be like, yeah, let me follow this, you know, game developer or something like that because of what they do as a profession, you know? So, and I follow all the space station, like I follow NASA and they've got like International Space Station, Twitter feed, and they've got a lot of the astronauts have them, and so I'll do that sort of thing. But just in terms of like, let me listen to a bunch of people yap about stuff. I don't.
And because like now, like because I know you follow Nintendo on Twitter. It's like, but now
they've gotten pulled into it.
Yeah, they've gotten pulled into the social justice warrior stuff because of the Allison Rapp thing.
And I'm like, just
so now you have to hear about that from Nintendo too.
Exactly. And I'm like, tell me about Mario. Tell me about Zelda. Tell me about Star Fox. He's coming out in a new game later this month.
That's right.
I want to hear about him.
Yeah.
And Slippy Toad.
Right.
And Peppy Hair.
Le Pew.
Peppy Le Pew. And Bugs Bunny and Roger Rabbit. That's why Roger Rabbit needs a Twitter account.
Yeah.
You can be like, please. And that's just every one of his tweets would be that.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah. Like every time somebody says something stupid, you just, please.
And then Creepy Yoda have a stop it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to fight. Be friends.
Like,
that's how you do it.
Like, on one hand, like, I love, because, I mean, I'm a technology nerd, just same as you.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, on one hand, I really, 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 really love the things that we're able to do now.
Yes.
And the advances that technology has made.
Including the ones that allow us to come to your voice.
Exactly,
your ears
and
right
that's
now.
one of them.
Yes.
It's like, but on the other hand, I yearn for a time when we weren't all connected.
I know.
Because, like, it's all it's done is breed contempt.
Yes.
It's
here's
so
the
bad.
Here's the reality. It's like they say, sociologists and such say that you can only have a relatively small number of very close friends in your life.
That's right.
You're going to have a lot more acquaintances than you're going to have close friends. And I think that Twitter and Facebook and things like that, these social justice social media platforms, although they really are social justice platforms.
What they've become.
Yeah. But these social media platforms have I think, illustrated why that's the case. Because the reality is that most of us, if we knew each other very well, would annoy the crap out of each other.
Yep.
Now, I don't think it should be that way. Yeah. And I think that when people were dealing with each other primarily physically, like as in, we are physically in the same space,
exactly, yeah.
then people were able to deal with their differences a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I think there is some sense in which we don't handle the otherness of other people as well in the digital space, in the cyberspace, than in the real space, in the meat space, to use stupid, annoying terminology like that. Sorry if you like it, folks. It's a different ballgame. But the reality is, it's like, we're all up in each other's business all the time, is what social media allows us to be. And that's not good. I mean, even people typically, who are best friends, whether, you're talking about married couples, whether you're talking about, just best friends, hetero life mates, whatever it may be, you typically have to have a little bit of a break from each other every now and then. Yeah. And so social media prevents that from happening.
Right.
So we never have a cool down period.
Right.
It's just always in our face because we're going to be too stupid. So we're going to get on Facebook and see what's going on. We're going to get on Twitter knowing that it's going to anger us. And then we do it anyway and then it angers us. And so it's always there. And it's just we...
Because like that's one reason I don't use Facebook that much.
Yeah.
Like, is because I don't want to get on Facebook and see other people's business. Mm-hmm. It's like, I just don't want, because when people like the internet and the fact that you have this platform now to express your opinions and everything, people feel like, well, I can get on Facebook or Twitter or something like that and I can air out all of my problems.
Right.
It's like, if you want me to know your problems, come to me and tell me.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. Someone going on, let's say, Facebook. Yeah. And making a political post, for example. An unsolicited political post. Just like, I'm going to tell you if I like Ted Cruz. I'm going to tell you if I like Hillary Clinton. Or I'm going to tell you if I like, whatever maybe. Yeah. It's kind of like getting up in the morning and say, I'm going to go into whatever room every one of my friends is in today.
Yep.
And unsolicitedly tell them this. Yeah. So... It's like, my friend Dave he goes to Huddle House for breakfast, and he's usually there about 7:30. All right, I'm going to go to Huddle House at 7:30. I'm going to walk in, I'm going to sit down at the table with Dave and be like, Ted Cruz is a liar because of this, that, and the other. Then I'm going to get up and leave. Because I got to go meet Debbie at the Krispy Kreme and tell her the same thing. It's essentially what it's like.
Yep.
But, to be fair... Dave would only hear it if Dave opens up Facebook and reads it.
Right.
So it's also, to make the analogy analogous, it's like Dave being like, okay, everybody who wants to come around and tell me stuff, I'm going to be here at 7:30 at Huddle House. Come on by.
Come on with it.
So to post something is to say, I'm going to go around to everybody. To read Facebook is to be like, y'all come on around here.
Yeah.
But either way, that's ridiculous.
It is.
If you stop and think about it, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Because how annoyed would you really be if somebody did that? If you were sitting in Huddle House and all of a sudden one of your friends comes in and is like, hey everybody, I don't like Ted Cruz because he's a liar. And then he leaves. And
then someone else comes in and is like, Allison Rapp should have never been fired. And then someone else comes in and says, Allison Rapp was a horrible person. And then someone comes in and says, let me tell you this lame joke that I heard. And then someone comes in and just holds up one of the meme pictures. Maybe like a Picard facepalm thing. And then walks out the door. And then someone comes in and tries to sell you something, because of course Facebook has the advertisement.
Suggested posts.
Someone comes in, I'm from Answer.com. You get away. You go on Answer.com. You get out of here.
Like 2 or 3 girls, or 2 or 3 pictures of girls that are held up on sticks comes through, and somebody says, go to Zeus.
That's right.
You can get women like this.
That's right. And then someone comes in and is like, every food that's not organic will make your head blow up. And then someone will come in and yell about climate change. And then someone's going to come in and be like, look, here's my dogs.
Yep. And you would eventually want to kill that person.
And then some guy in a wheelchair and his big friend come in and they're like, listen to our podcast about Star Wars. Yeah. It's only marginally about Star Wars.
It's like, and that's the thing. That's like that's the way we've always treated Facebook or anything like that. Is like, usually that's our kind of like our newsletter.
Yeah,
it's like you know, hey, we did this thing. You know, if you want to come listen to it, here's this thing.
Yeah,
and we just put it out there. Like, but we're not out there, and our opinions for everybody.
No.
I mean, we are now, but,
well, of course.
But this is our show.
That's right. That's what we who's got the microphones? Right. That's right. We do.
But this is not a social network platform.
No, this is a radio show.
Right, exactly, on the internet.
Yeah.
But the Facebook is not a radio show.
No.
It's just people
just
telling what they want everybody to know, I guess.
Take 2 sticks and move it and make this math problem work right. That's like someone come in with some puzzle for you to do.
Well, like I saw one thing the other day. Is like somebody posted like a Where's Waldo thing full of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it was, where's Waldo in this thing?
Like, it's like, get the heck out of here. I'm trying to eat my bagel.
I'm at Huddle House eating my bagel. I don't need to find Waldo.
I got more important stuff to do right now. I got to find a way to digest this before I get to work. So go on. Get out of here. Go. Get. Go. You do it. You know. So that's what I learned from this episode.
Right. So the finale.
There were a couple of other things. So the fact that Rex and Sabine go again. Can I just say that I like having Rex around?
Oh yeah,
it makes me very happy. And I couldn't help but wonder, did Rex get some flashbacks to Geonosis with being underground and those creepy crawly things? Yeah. You know, it just kind of made me think of Geonosis a little bit. I was impressed with the lighting when they were underground.
Yeah.
When the whole gang goes in there, I thought that was pretty well done, pretty nice, pretty sweet. Another thing, talking about Ezra got to try out his talks to the animals thing. So apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, apparently
that he even kept using a word like connect. Let me see if I can connect with him.
Yeah.
I think is what he said. So apparently that's his. Which I guess, if some people have the psychometry force ability, I could touch something to know where it's been, or you've got the ability to, jump high or whatever. Apparently he's got the ability to talk to animals.
Well, I mean, Obi-Wan did that in episode 2 by, calming the beast.
That's true.
And everything, but I don't know. I just found Ezra's version of it a little corny.
Well, Obi-Wan was like, wait, let me communicate with this.
Let me find out what's going on in his mind.
I can talk to him.
I can tell him why he's angry.
What is wrong with you? It's like, no, he didn't do any of that. No, it was just like, calm it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and then episode 3, with his little dragon friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And before he had to fight, forearms. Some call him Grievous.
Grievous.
You fool, I've been trained in the Jedi arts by Count Dooku. Your move. You are doomed. Oh, I don't think so. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Other things that.
And the interesting thing, though, the even more interesting thing is that it didn't work.
Yes.
It's like, so it kind of played down the Wonder Kid thing.
It did. And both times he got kind of close, it just made the spider things angry.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it happens at the end of the episode when there's like Darth Vader music playing.
Yes.
And there's that owl there, so.
Yeah, what's it up with that owl? Like, Filoni did an interview, which I'm sure we'll talk about as we talk about the finale. But that owl shows up again in the finale, and he was like, that is there for a reason.
Yes.
And apparently there are some clues,
clues
somewhere
scattered in, and that the owl is some kind of like an avatar for a character that has appeared in Star Wars animated before. So I'm wondering if it's Morton. Maybe. That's the guess I'm throwing out there before trying to dig up the the clues and stuff.
Yeah.
Either, I don't know.
We say Morton meaning...
Yes, the father from the Mortis trilogy.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, we named them all.
Yeah.
The daddy was Morton.
Morton.
And then the son was...
what was his name?
Oh, goodness.
Because I remember the other one was Sophie, correct?
Yes, yeah, the daughter is Sophie.
Was
It's not Mars.
no, it's not Mars. Morton,
Sophie, and... Oh, man.
I almost had it. I was about to say Martin, and that made me think of it.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah.
That's close. This is what you want, folks. You want to listen to a podcast where you try to remember something that
we made up.
Yeah. Morton, Sophie, and... Well, I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah, well, it'll come to us.
Yeah.
You know, sometime, at least expect it, maybe tonight in bed. That's kind of a Quantum Leap reference.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
With the Admiral lady that couldn't remember where she heard about Quantum Leap.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when they had to save Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that show?
I do.
Did you know that some of the episodes on Netflix are in HD?
I did not know that.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I can't watch them in HD, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you come over here and watch them in
HD.
That's true.
Still got the wrong music, though.
Some of the episodes on Netflix don't. They actually have the right music. Like like MIA actually has Ray Charles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
See, we are hardcore Quantum Leap fans, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. You know they did the same thing with Knight Rider?
Really?
Like the DVDs of Knight Rider
have the cheapo music.
Yeah. Because there was, I can't remember what song it was, but there was a Huey Lewis song in it was either the first or second episode. You remember Michael's evil twin?
Yes.
Like when he was in prison, there was a Huey Lewis in the News song playing for some reason.
Because it was popular, man.
And like on the DVD, it's clearly not really Huey Lewis in the News singing that.
Yeah.
So
that's too funny.
Because like that was the thing. It was always, or at least most of the time, Quantum Leap kind of changed it. Quantum Leap, it was they would have a song by a popular artist in the actual broadcast version, and then the version on the DVD would be just a totally different song.
Yeah, it wasn't even like just a cover.
Yeah, and then Knight Rider, it was covers. So interesting trivia for you there.
Yes, that's right. If you're wondering about shows from NBC back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes. Morton and Sophie and was it Mark?
Yes.
Mark. That's it. Yes. Morton, Sophie, and Mark.
Yep.
Mark, also known as Son, also known as Darth Maul, also known as Sam Witwer.
That's right.
Yes. So that's
also known as, here's a little tiny bit of piece of trivia.
Oh, tiny piece of trivia.
Also known as the dead guy in the tank from the series premiere of Walking Dead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice for Sam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in The Mist.
Really?
You know, the Stephen King book that had that's...
He was in the book?
No.
Yes.
That book is connected to the Dark Tower.
Well, what is it connected to the Dark Tower?
True.
When you get right down to it. Everything's connected to the Dark Tower.
Right.
So, maybe that's... I have no idea who the owl is, but but there's something going on there.
Definitely so. Yeah. Was there an owl in the Mortis trilogy?
No, but I'm just trying to think of who might be watching and in what way. And the fact that Dave said that, you know, there's things going on that we don't fully comprehend, and maybe sort of, you know, the way he was describing it, it sounded like something that's sort of metaphysical and outside of the sort of normal universe, and that just kind of made me think of Morton, because, you know, he would care about these things. He would care. I mean, you know, he kind of felt responsible for bringing the Force out of balance because Anakin didn't do what he thought Anakin was supposed to do, and so, I mean, you know, that's, I don't know. But yeah, so you've got that all going on. They eventually get Rex. They never bothered to look for the A-Wing girl, by the way.
They didn't.
No, like they go in there and Rex is hanging by the spider thing. He's like, "Baby, look, help here," and they get him down, and no one's like should we look for the girl? No one says, well, the girl's dead, so we shouldn't even bother. They don't say word one. They're like, well, we got Rex, let's get out of here. You know, those A-Wing girls, they're a dime a dozen. You know? We get them in the A-Wing girl factory. So they just leave, and you got to shoot them in the eye. And sometimes that works. I thought it was interesting towards the end of the episode, when they're having to defend the ghost, and Rex is in there and he's shooting at one of them, and it's like 3 feet away from him, and he can't hit it in the eye. And I'm like, are you turning into a stormtrooper, Rex? You're normally a pretty good shot, and yet now you're like, oh, what? I felt like this is a moment when you are as talented as the plot demands you to not be.
Yeah, that's true.
So, it is what it is. But so they get Rex, they get out of there, they run him out of there. And something I thought was interesting, when they're down there looking for Rex and they split up, and Kanan wants to go with Hera, and Hera's idea is for the two Jedi to go off by themselves.
So they can get used to
them being alone.
Yeah.
Again, that's what this sort of subtext of the splitting up is going on. I thought that was interesting. So then they get back to the ghost, but the spiders have spun their webs and they stuck the ghost to the ground. So then it turns into Call of Duty Zombies.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty much.
If you played Call of Duty Zombies, you're like, yeah, it's exactly what that is.
Yep.
Except they weren't having to go around and magically have boards show
rebuild
up
the boards
with
on the
cha-ching
window.
sounds, you know.
Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
And the Rex goes and there's a gun in her chest and he gets it out and it's great. Yeah. But
I got the ray gun.
Yeah, that's gonna be best for it. So apparently the spiders don't like sensor beacons.
Yeah. For whatever reason.
Don't like radio. So they use the jumping trick. Jumping trick happens a lot in this show now.
Yeah.
They get Sabine. Then Sabine wields the sensor thing like a sword or something, and they cut themselves free and they go. And so they were debating about whether to abandon the base or not, but they say no, we've got to make this base work. And so at the end of the episode, we got this big fence of sensor thing.
I figure that's going to come into play later on too. Yeah. Because it'll probably be some kind of a defense they use against the Empire when the Empire inevitably raids that base.
Because that ain't Dantooine.
That ain't Dantooine.
And as you know, Dantooine, they're on Dantooine. Our scouts found the remains of a base, but it appears to have been abandoned for some time.
Yeah.
She lied to us. I told her she would never consciously betray the rebellion. Perhaps we could find new ways. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Redouble our efforts for your sake, and I hope so. The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am, shaking my fist at you. You're a whippersnapper. Yeah. So they make it back home. Ezra can't talk to the spiders. Spiders don't like him. Spiders don't like you, boys. Shut up.
Just quit trying.
Just stop it. Let it go. Let it go. The spiders don't want you no more. I hate that song.
He lays down, like right by the fence. It's like, boy, are you tempting danger?
For real.
You're just like, I mean, why are you just laying there?
I didn't think it was random. Like, he starts laying there, and then like the Darth Vader music starts playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, where's this coming from? It's like nothing's happened. It's like, hey, by the way, he might be evil sometime. I'm like, I know I'm missing some subtlety. Yeah, I'm just. I've got it on Amazon standard definition, but I'm watching it at work on my lunch break. But still, what's going on there? But so you've got the last little interaction there between Hera and Kanan, which I thought was nice. How Sabine kind of has to say, Hera needs you to go talk to her.
Yeah.
And Kanan's like, why? She's like, look, just because she understands what you're doing, you're still leaving. And it's interesting. I'd read somewhere where people complained that like they didn't kiss. But I think that it was more, reflective of a love that they would have for one another, that they embrace, that they hug.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not a romantic moment. It's a sad moment. It's a scary moment. And so I think the hug, and it was clearly not just we're friends, but we care about each other. It was more than that. But I liked it being the hug as opposed to
I mean, and to be perfectly honest, like, or at least from my perspective, like, I think, hugging your significant other is a lot more, in my opinion, intimate than a kiss. I mean, just because...
I kiss strangers all the time.
Exactly. I mean, you just find somebody on the street and you're like, hey.
You don't kiss?
And you don't get arrested or nothing.
Never.
But
not down here in Alabama, anyway.
Well, like, usually...
Down here in Alabama.
Kissing has kind of a sexual connotation to it.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah.
Like, not always, but it can. And where hugging does... Like, that's always emotional.
Unless you're a prevert. Trying to... I'm going to hug a girl so I can,
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you got to go pretty far with it at that point. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with hugging has an emotional...
Yeah.
An emotional context. And again, I think, if you love the person you're kissing, then hopefully it's got some emotional there too.
Yeah.
But no, I'm with you on that.
Usually just when you see it on screen, it's usually, it usually, like you said, it's more symbolic of just pure romantic than an embrace is.
Yeah. I agree. Which I guess I should agree, because you're agreeing with me.
That's right.
It's like, I agree with you, Nick, blah, 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 blah. Nope, Josh, that's wrong. But that's what you just said. You shut up.
I don't care.
I don't care. You're wrong. I'm right. That's the way it works. So, anything else to add on the mystery of Chopper Base?
I don't think so.
Okay. I had made some notes, but I didn't save them onto this computer.
Oh, well, that was dumb.
It was very dumb of me, but what can one say? Yes. All right.
I just said you're dumb.
Yeah. I heard you the first time, Joshua. I don't need you to be making me feel bad about myself. So, we come to the finale.
Oh, boy.
Twilight of the Apprentice. Which apprentice are we talking about? Are we talking about Ahsoka? Are we talking about Ezra? Are we talking about Maul, even? Because he was an apprentice.
I say all three.
Yes, I think this is a triple word score title
yes.
for the episode, because it definitely can apply to all of them.
Yep.
All of them. So, you told me in your text message conversation with me that the Chopper Base episode you thought was okay. It was,
Yeah.
But that this two-parter is like the pinnacle for you of Rebels thus far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this one may actually be I would say the top 3 of both the Lucasfilm CG shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what would that top list there consist of?
I would say probably the Mortis trilogy being number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 would probably be the Geonosis arc. And then this be number 3.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good. It would be tough for me. I don't know if I could pick just a top 3. Because I'd have to also put in the Mandalore Obi-Wan.
That one
stuff.
was good.
So I'd have to have at least a top 4 for that. And I'd probably round it out with a 5, but I'm not sure what my 5th top one would be. It might be the Obi-Wan Goes Undercover one, just again because it's Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So that's tough though. But then the last episodes of with Ahsoka, like the official last episodes with Ahsoka were legit.
Pretty powerful.
Were pretty tight. So this is a lot of good stuff. But yeah, these were definitely good episodes. So we go to Malachor, which does turn out to be somewhat similar in terms of its history as to how it had its history in the EU. And that there was a great battle between the Sith and the Jedi. I don't know that the details necessarily all match, but it seems to be kind of a thing with the new Star Wars canon going forward, having once and for all officially gotten rid of the EU. Again, it never counted, but no longer being continued.
Yeah.
It seems like the deal is if things from the EU show up, they often have the flavor that they had in the EU, but not always the exact specifics.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Which does make one wonder if Thrawn will show up. We've talked about that rumor.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that Malachor shows up the way that it does here I think if you want Grand Admiral Thrawn to show up, I think the hope is still alive.
Oh yeah,
for that. But so they go to Malachor, and it's almost like a glass surface to the planet. Yeah. But then you find out it's not the surface of the planet, that it's part of this, apparently, and I didn't fully pick up on really this until I read the Dave Filoni interview, that this is all fallout from the weapon. That the weapon is what petrified everything. That's why when they go down there, you've got all the Jedi and Sith, frozen in place.
Kind of Pompeii-esque.
Yes, exactly. It really did kind of have and the temple was almost like a volcano.
Yeah.
So it almost was this sort of mystical / technological Pompeii. That's a really interesting way to look at it.
See, now why couldn't The Force Awakens just say, we found one of these Sith planets and we're going to use that?
Yeah.
Like that, and it's this big super weapon. And we're just going to use that instead of building another Death Star.
Because, Joshua, people love Death Stars. They love them. If you go and you look at Star Wars movies that people love, oftentimes there was a Death Star in them. And if there wasn't, it was sandwiched right between two movies where there were Death Stars.
Right, that's true.
So you need to either have a Death Star in the movie or have a Death Star in the movie right before or right after, or maybe even both. The movie that you're talking about. So that's what people love. Death Stars.
Yeah.
They just love them. Some people even have Death Stars as the toppers on their Christmas trees.
Yeah, some people.
I don't know who that would be. Maybe me and my family. Possibly. Yes. So, it's a very good question.
Yeah.
But I really don't know the answer.
Yeah. Maybe it's because the Sith planet can't travel through hyperspace.
That's right. The way that the stinking, stupid Starkiller base can, and then fire its slow moving but somehow hyperspace faster than even bullet hot fire magma lava bolt things. We're gonna shoot out hot gas and it'll be some kind of missile thing and shoot stuff. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, what's the annoying guy's name?
Huxtable.
Huxtable. Yes. Was it Admiral Hux?
General
Hux.
Huxtable.
General! That's it. You're annoying!
Yeah.
Yes, Supreme Leader Snoke. Yes, you are. I mean, yes, I am.
He just kind of yells at him for nothing.
Yeah, he does. He's like, I was just a General! Sorry, I have Tourette's.
Yeah, for real.
It's just like, it's a game we play. Sometimes I yell his title, sometimes he sits there. It's fun. It's just a thing. I'm just trying to freak out Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
It's hard to gauge his reaction with all that stuff in his face.
Mechanical, cybernetic stuff. It's Matt, radar technician. Yes. So apparently there was this large battle. There was this super weapon. We don't know it's a super weapon at first. We found out it's a super weapon. And so you've got our 3 Jedi. They go down there.
We've got our 2 Jedi.
That's right. Sorry. You're exactly right.
That becomes a
deal.
A freaking awesome deal.
Yes.
That was like, I mean, we'll get to it, but when I heard that, when she said what she said, I mean, I got the chill bumps hard. They was all over my body.
All over my body.
Even the parts you couldn't see.
Ooh.
Think about that in the shower at night.
Because I can see lots of your body parts, so we're sorry. We're just going to move on. Before this gets awkward. Yeah, so apparently this battle was a stalemate from the remains, from the Pompeii-style remains there. And so our heroes are going through. The whole notion is trying to find, according to Ahsoka, they want to find knowledge. They want to find knowledge so that they can understand their enemy, so they can defeat their enemy.
Because that's what Yoda told them to do. Exactly.
And again, this is where Dave Filoni explains some things that maybe aren't perfectly clear. That in the episode on Lothal, when they go to the temple and they're talking to Yoda, and Yoda's telling them don't fight, and Ezra's saying we've decided to fight, and so Yoda says go to Malachor. Apparently the idea there is Yoda doesn't want them to fight, but if they're committed to fighting, then he's like, okay, fine, go to Malachor, because apparently he's got a sense, and apparently the Emperor has a sense that something's going to go down on Malachor. Mm-hmm. So it's, let's see if they've got what it takes.
Yeah.
And I think that it's clear that they don't.
They don't. They so much don't.
And I think this, between this episode and then again reading the Dave Filoni interview, it seems like our concern about the integrity of the Star Wars saga as a whole being sacrificed for the, needs of this story, mm-hmm. we don't need to be afraid about that.
No.
Because Dave Filoni seems pretty explicit, like, by the time episode 4 rolls around, ain't no Jedi or no Sith.
Yeah.
Except the 2. Right. Except the 2 Sith Lords. So, that's
very telling.
That's very telling. And this episode, at least on the dark side of things, and maybe the light side too, starts to really get us there.
Yep.
Which is just...
Shut my mouth.
Call me Susan. So, we will kind of read through the wiki article on this one, because I want to make sure we don't miss anything, since this is the big finale stuff. Okay, so, as the rebels make their way to the temple, they find themselves surrounded by ruins caused by severe battle damage. They also find old lightsabers and many petrified stone bodies.
Yeah, this is where we see the crossguard lightsaber.
Yes, which I thought was interesting that it apparently was, and maybe, I guess you had said this, a Sith design, an ancient Sith design, but the Knights of Ren aren't Sith. So what's the connection there?
Oh.
Yeah. So I would have felt better if the crossguard lightsabers were not Sith, but actually they weren't. Because what was the color of the blade of the lightsaber?
It was green.
It was green. It was a Jedi's lightsaber. Mm-hmm. Which makes me think that the official idea now is that old lightsabers back in the day
just had crossguards.
Were all like that.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thought when you think about it in terms of, the old broadsword with the big,
right, yeah.
compared to modern day swords that don't have that. So there's kind of a parallel there.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
Guess you could kind of compare them like modern day lightsabers. You could compare them to kind of like katana blades and stuff.
It's exactly what I was thinking about, like Leonardo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Leonardo, he's the leader of the group. Transformed from the normal.
I need to watch that episode.
Yes, you do, because
have you seen it?
It is good.
Is it?
It is very good. Nice. If you're wondering what we're talking about, it's the crossover Turtles episode.
Yeah.
Interdimensional Turtles or something, and it's the Turtles show that's current now. Those new characters, the CG show, they cross over into the original cartoon show.
Yeah.
And then the original cartoon show characters cross over with them.
Yeah.
And all the voices are right, and it is good. It's just hearing them again, and it's funny because the whole idea of multiple turtle universes and all that. Like, I'm typically one of these people that feels like multiple parallel dimensions in storytelling weakens things. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that both comic series, both Marvel and DC do that. They've got multiple dimensions and all of that, and that technically all the different comic book runs and the Marvel Cinematic Universe all exist in one big Marvel multiverse. Same thing with DC. And I know that Transformers is that way.
Right.
I don't typically love that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would almost just be like, well, it's just a reboot, let's not put it all in some big multiverse, because I feel like in some ways it takes away from the uniqueness of the characters.
Yeah.
And Turtles does this even more overtly than some of these others. Mm-hmm. But I'm watching this episode and I'm like, no, these are completely separate people. Yeah. Like it did not feel for me that kind of, it's diminishing the uniqueness of the character, because Donnie from the new show and Donatello from the original show are talking to one another, and they're obviously not the same character, even though they both, have the technological prowess and that sort of thing. Yeah. But it's really well done.
I need to check it out because I've got the Hulu again, so I need to go on there and pull that one up.
Well, and it's, at least for right now, it's available on just the Nickelodeon website. That's how I saw it. And it's Krang's in it.
Yeah, and he's right.
And it's him.
Yeah.
And they make a connection between that Krang and the Krang on the new show.
Oh.
And that apparently our Krang, I'm saying our 2D show because that's what we grew up with, our Krang was banished to the two-dimensional Turtles realm by the rest of the Krang. And because he apparently is a screw-up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, like, that Krang exists because of what's going on in the current show.
Yeah, like he's one of them, but was put
That's
back there.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really pretty. Oh, you know who the voice of the Krang is? Krang is a species in the new show.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But there's like a Krang subprime who's kind of like the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Really?
Yeah. Which is pretty stinking funny. And so and they those two Krang talk. Like and bicker, it's really nicely done.
Oh yeah.
And the music, like there are points in the show because I mean obviously the new show uses a sort of remixed rappy lyric wise, but version of the original theme. Mm-hmm. But like there are parts in the background music in the episode when it's like straight up like bits of the cues from the original.
Cool.
It's very nice. And there's a neat part, but I don't want to spoil it for you or our listeners, so I won't. But it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah. So how did we get off talking about that? I don't even remember. Lightsabers, katana.
Yeah.
Yes, and they make fun of the fact that like the new turtles make fun of the fact the old turtles never actually use their weapons.
Oh,
They're like, I'm going to throw pizza at you, or I'm going to knock open a fire hydrant. That sort of thing. It's good. It's very good, yeah. Okay, so where were we? They find lightsabers, mini petrified stone bodies. It looks like the remains of a battlefield. From what Ahsoka can tell, the ancient Jedi Knights attacked the Sith Temple, which led to no victory for either side. As they walk on, they are suddenly attacked by an Inquisitor known as the Eighth Brother, resulting in Ezra getting separated by Ahsoka and Kanan. So he flies in on his, because if you spin a lightsaber really fast,
yeah, you can fly.
It's a helicopter.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, more Star Wars science coming into play here. Love it. So the Eighth Brother and the gang fight. Ezra falls down to another level of the cave and survives. The Inquisitor retreats. Kanan and Ahsoka go after him while Ezra... And again, this was, I think, kind of not smart on the part of Kanan and Ahsoka to be like, we're going to go after him, kid. Just, catch up.
Yeah. Yeah.
For as much as we're worried about Ezra, maybe we should have not just, left him. But what have you. So Ezra has to look for another way to get back to them. Observing his surroundings, Ezra has no clue which way to go, but is then startled by a hooded stranger who appears to have been marooned on Malachor for years.
Darth
Maul.
Now, I've read some stuff that was basically saying this seems to be purposefully analogous to Luke landing on Dagobah and finding Yoda the way he was. Because Yoda kind of,
pretended to be stupid.
Wasn't.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. And, Maul does kind of the same thing. Maul's hobbling around on the stick and everything. And so I can kind of see that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some echoes that were done that way on purpose. And even towards the end of the finale, some of the interaction with Ahsoka and Anakin and in terms of the kind of, I won't leave you and this, that. There was just sort of, I can't remember some of the specific dialogue, but there were a couple of things that were said that just reminded me of some of the stuff from the original trilogy. And if that is the case, talking about with the whole Dagobah parallel, it is an interesting parallel that it's the dark side parallel to that. And that Ezra falls for it.
Yeah.
Come on,
that kid.
that boy. That boy. So what did you think about Darth Maul being brought back in this way?
I'm fine with it.
I am too.
I like me some Darth Maul. Cause I was not one of the type of people who, cause there's apparently a lot of people like this that are like, Darth Maul was the best thing about episode 1.
Right, the only good thing in the prequels.
And, I didn't really care one bit about Darth Maul back then. I was like, it's neat that he's a Sith Lord that uses a double-bladed lightsaber. Yeah. That's neat.
Right. That's about as far as it went.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, Clone Wars made him a character.
Yeah, fleshed him out.
Yeah.
Big time.
And now we get a continuation of that character.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really, really, really like what they've done with Darth Maul. I really like how he's, because he mentions it later about the, basically his disdain for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like, because I think there was a line that was cut from this episode, I think, where, or maybe it was in the episode, but I think it was cut. Where somebody had asked him about Darth Vader, like, who is Darth Vader or something like that, and he was like, who I should have been.
Yeah, I think that was cut because I don't remember that, but yeah, that would be it. I mean, that would. Did you at any point think maybe Darth Maul's changed his ways?
Yeah, kinda, because I was kind of thinking, maybe he does have so much disdain for Darth Vader and the Empire and Palpatine for, taking somebody else as his apprentice and everything. Maybe he does want to, kind of join the good guys just so he can get back at them.
Right.
But nope.
Nope. Yeah, I'd wondered the same thing. I didn't really feel like Darth Maul wants to be good, but that Darth Maul would be sort of in that chaotic, neutral sort of category, and where it happens to be that the people that he hates are the bad guys, so he allies himself with the good guys, but is not really a good guy. But yeah, that one.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly, and he even says that. I mean, that's his idea. Yeah. At least that's what he wants people to think is his idea.
Yeah.
And it turns out he's like, but you're also my enemy too, so
goodbye.
You're all gonna be gone. Oh, you wascally Darth Maul, you. And I think Sam Witwer has done a great job.
Oh yeah.
With the
that
character.
dude is just so like ridiculously talented.
He is. He really is.
I mean, to do that, to do Palpatine as well as he does. Of course, he was the Apprentice in the Force Unleashed games, which he was really good in those. So yeah, he's a super multi-talented guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's see, where were we? So Ezra draws his lightsaber as the stranger approaches him, but the stranger assures him that he means him no harm. Ezra,
mean you no harm.
Mean you no harm. Ezra is cautious, but after the old man promises to help him find his friends and to also help him find what he seeks, Ezra reluctantly allows him to accompany him. They search together, and the two of them start to get to know you, get to know all about you. And they have fake names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jabba.
Yeah, where he's like, because you can tell by the way he says, he's like, I know who Jabba is.
Yeah.
Your name's not Jabba.
Your name's not Jabba, kid. And what is Maul, the Old Master?
Old Master, yeah.
It's like, that's a weird name. Creepy.
Hold your first name.
Creepy Darth. That's right. Creepy Darth Maul. And they realize that they're together, or that they're both there at this temple wanting the same thing, knowledge. Mm-hmm. And again, this is where Dave Filoni kind of points out you've got some parallels now with what Ahsoka has said and with what Darth Maul is saying. There are some similarities, and Ezra gets it confused.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought here we're getting some Anakin parallels in terms of, do I listen to Obi-Wan or Ahsoka, or do I listen to Palpatine or Maul? You know, it's that sort of thing where it's the twisting of certain things that you have been taught just enough to perhaps lead you astray. Mm-hmm. And I mean, some of the stuff that Maul says about, you want revenge and you want to make things right and that's like straight out of Palpatine's playbook. I mean, he used those exact sorts of things on Anakin.
Yep.
So I thought that was a very interesting, sort of almost insight into the fact that even though Darth Maul is very much not happy with Sidious, he still uses that same kind of playbook.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. So they search together. They get to know one another. As we've said, they're both looking for knowledge. Ezra also discovers that this stranger knows a lot about the ways of the dark side. and in fact was once a Force wielder who lost everything at the hands of the Sith. Now, of course, Darth Maul doesn't say, I was one.
I was one, got cut in half by a Jedi.
Everybody thought I died. I had not died. I had some spider parts on me, robot spider parts. I looked really cool. I was crazy, and then I got better.
Yeah.
He didn't say all that. But he did mention the killing of his brother.
Yeah.
Which I was like, Savage Opress.
Savage Opress.
Yes, good old Savage Opress. Good old Clancy Brown. Remember him? Remember, it's like, he's like a Darth Maul, poor man's Darth Maul. And then the show was like, except, here's real Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Drop mic.
Drop the mic.
What'd you think of that? And we were all like, wow, I don't know what to think about that, Clone Wars. That's very interesting.
There's, I don't know if it said this in the Filoni interview or if I read this somewhere else, but apparently they're planning on doing something with Darth Maul showing how he got into Malachor like that, why he's there, like why he's been banished to there or crash landed there or whatever. Because
there's definitely something going on. The Inquisitors refer to him as the Shadow, and so and that's who they were there hunting.
Yeah, right.
Our heroes just kind of happened to show up. So, yeah, there's definitely a story there. And again, that ties into what Filoni said about how, look, Palpatine and Vader are going to want to mop up every Force user, good or bad.
Yeah.
So, if they know that Darth Maul's still out there, they're going to want to get rid of him.
Yeah. Now, did you read the article that was posted today about there being an Ahsoka novel?
No, I did not read it. I saw that the article existed, but I did not read it.
It's supposedly takes place after she leaves the Jedi Order and basically tells the story of what happened before she became Fulcrum. So I'm like, yes, please. Yes.
Now, I wonder if that's going to include the...
Apparently so. Like what Filoni talked about, like how the idea was that, last time she saw Anakin was
when they got called off to get Palpatine.
Right. Like, that's my understanding, that it's going to be about that.
Interesting. I'm okay with that, although I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one of those bittersweet things. It's like, yes, give it to me in a book. Oh, but wait, if you give it to me in a book, are you not going to give it to me in any kind of a visual medium? Because I don't know about that. Maybe you do both. Yeah. Maybe both happening at the same time. Or a few years later. It's up to you. You don't do it right now.
I cut that grass for free.
I cut that grass for free. Since I like to go zillionaire. He's like so not arrogantly proud about it, but like, can you believe I did that?
Yeah.
Like, I cut that grass for free. No, you did not force. Yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
I did. I really did, Jenny. He's so smart, Jenny. See, it's easy for us to do a Forrest Gump impression because we're from Alabama.
Right.
And that's how we all talk down here.
Well, not really.
No,
we have to Georgia it up a little bit.
Right.
Southern Belle.
Southern Belle it up a little bit.
Southern Seance, y'all.
Y'all, we told y'all about this force powers of the devil. Y'all. No Satan back. Yes, Force, Southern Forrest Gump. So, right here in this episode. But anyway, so back to the novel. Yeah, I hope that we get to see it visually at some point, but it's also the case that I'd rather have it than not have it.
Right.
So if it comes out in a book, at least we know we've got it. Yeah. But I just thought it was interesting that Filoni was like, yeah, we went ahead and proceeded as though that happened.
Yeah.
As though those episodes of the Clone Wars that we never made had gotten made.
Yeah. So those need to get made somehow.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I'm like you. I would rather see it in visual form. But if we have to have books that do it, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I would rather have a book than a comic.
Yes.
But I'd even take a comic.
Yeah. But what's interesting is, so that was going to be the end of Clone Wars. Like, that was how the show was going to end. So we're getting now, if this book is indeed going to be that, we're going to get the end, what they were really planning on being the end of the Clone Wars. And I thought it was interesting that, for spoiler alert, in case you care, folks, but the setup was going to be that Ahsoka, being on her own, ended up sort of discovering the whereabouts of Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going to work with Anakin and Obi-Wan to take him down, take him out, do your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have a chance to because Anakin and Obi-Wan got called away to rescue Palpatine. And so that leaves Ahsoka and Rex and other, quote, interesting or something like that characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives us some indication about Rex and Order 66.
Yeah.
Because, well, what did he do when the Order came down? Well, he might not have been around any Jedi.
Very true.
You know?
Yeah.
And we know he wasn't with Plo Koon, because you would think, well, Filoni might want to put Plo Koon in there, but we know he could have been, because we saw Plo Koon die.
Right.
Plo Koon was on Cato Nemoidia and got shot down. Yeah. So, it's interesting. I use that word a lot, but it is. It's interesting, and I'm excited.
But I'm just glad they're still they're like you said, you know, they're going with the idea that all that stuff still happened.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly they're like, and we're going to tell it somehow.
Yeah, it's going to get out there.
Yeah.
I like that fact. Yeah, because in the interview, Dave says something about, you know, I made the notes, we got it all so that people can consult it, you know, down the road, and that later on everything can kind of hook up together. Yeah. So it's like, that's great that it's like you're taking the backstories that you're having to write the stories that you're showing, and you're making those notes so that people have access to them. And something else I thought was interesting about some of those notes and about the Anakin and Ahsoka interactions that come up later from this Filoni interview is when Filoni was talking about how that would go down, and that it wouldn't be the case that Ahsoka, her presence would in any way move Vader to redemption. And that would need to be, that's what Luke does. And who does he say was the main inspiration and, you know, for laying down the gospel?
Mr. Georgie boy.
Mr. George.
Yep.
And what was interesting is in one of those sentences, when he talked about talking to George, it was not past
No, it
tense.
was not. I noticed that too.
It was present tense.
Yeah.
Like, he might still be unofficially involved.
Right.
At least on the level of sometimes he and Dave talk.
Yeah. That's okay with me.
You read a Dave Filoni interview and you can tell that he had been working with George Lucas closely for a number of years and that he gets it. Because he sounds like George Lucas when he talks about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So Darth Maul is sort of planting the seeds, talking about vengeance and things like that. And Ezra keeps kind of bringing up that, Kanan wouldn't like him to be thinking about those sorts of things. But you can tell that it's kind of working a little bit. Ezra is absorbing some of this. You know, and again, Ezra has things to be upset about. He lost his family. He's now on the run. It's not like he's got a completely empty wellspring of anger, but it's, at least by the end of the episode, it looks like there might be some problems with, with that wellspring of anger, boy.
Yeah.
But so Ezra says though he's not wanting revenge. He wants justice, and the stranger reveals that the knowledge that they can find here on Malachor would allow him to accomplish just that. According to him, the temple contained all the secrets of the Sith that had been long forgotten for thousands of years, secrets that could be used to destroy the Sith. And from a certain point of view, that's correct, in that at least the destroy the Sith part.
Yeah.
Because it's a big old honking weapon.
Big old weapon, yeah.
But not so much the knowledge part.
Yeah.
Not so much that. So, Ezra and his new associate make it to the sealed door that leads to their prize. The only way that they could go through was by having two Force wielders who embrace the dark side. You kind of kept getting this repeated motif, you know, two, no more, no less.
Yep.
Like, y'all quoting, I know that. I know what that is. Yes, I'm so smart.
Well, it's also kind of interesting that, like, stuff like that would require two people. When this is presumably before the rule of two existed.
Yes.
So apparently for the Sith, having two Sith do particular things was already a thing.
Yeah, like it's almost like the precursor to the full-on rule of two, in that by this point they already did not want to trust any one of them individually.
Or it just makes you think that the reason they had to go with the rule of two is like, well, our numbers are kind of getting thin, and we're going to need somebody to operate these weapons, and we've already got this 2 rule thing set in place, so there's at least got to be 2 of us, so we can get into our doors and stuff.
Right. I'm only one Sith. I cannot open the stupid door. We had this great plan. We were going to take over the galaxy. The Jedi were being punks. They killed a bunch of us, but we still had all of our weapons and stuff hidden out. We're going to get this long plan to eventually seek our revenge. But we forgot to make sure that we could open the stupid door. Way to go, Darth, all of you guys. Bunch of dead Darth dummies. I guess I'm going to go open up a donut stand on Tatooine. Because what else have I got to do? Maybe I'll go to Jakku, because it's basically the same thing.
Right.
Just saying is all. Still not over that.
Nope.
No. So, they make it to this first door where you've got to do the 2 thing. Mm-hmm. And so we get this long sequence of opening doors. and it's funny, I was thinking about it, how Ezra at one point gets kind of annoyed that there's, how many more doors are there? But it's interesting. The anger would just make it easier to open the doors. So is it one of those things, you want to have a whole bunch of doors to make yourself mad to go through the doors,
more mad,
so that you can open the doors better? Is it like some sort of we're going to go through these doors faster, yes, because now we're really angry, but wait, now we're happy because we're getting through it fast, and now it's slowing down again. It's like the whole Darth Vader gets happy, he can take his mask off, he gets angry, he can take his mask off, he gets happy because he can take his mask off, and then he can't take his mask off anymore.
Yeah.
But he took his mask off a little bit here. Oh my goodness, we'll get there in a minute.
Yeah.
We will get there in a minute. Gravy boat and the biscuit.
A lot to say about that.
Yes. Okay, so Ezra's first attempt to open the door fails, but he embraces the dark side, and yes, they're able to successfully open the doors. Once on the other side, yes, he is Maul. Mm-hmm. Like we did not know. We haven't known for 15 minutes.
I mean, we could really kind of tell by the trailer.
Yeah.
From the mid-season trailer.
It was like, it kind of sounds like Sam Witwer.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. Meanwhile, Kanan and Ahsoka have captured the 8th brother and have reason to believe that he was not after them. And turns out, that's right, he was after someone else. Mm-hmm. They try to get answers from him to no success. Ezra and Maul, meanwhile, make it to the chamber where they discover a Sith holocron. They work together using the old throw me trick. It's like Jedi tossing. Mm-hmm. They're able to retrieve it, but as a result, when Ezra grabs it, he activates an Indiana Jones kind of thing.
See, now you talk about Indiana Jones. I thought that's where they were going to go with this, because they come to a little chasm there, and I thought it was going to be like in Last Crusade, and he just have to have faith and step out there.
That's right.
But nope, throw him across.
That's right. It's like, oh.
It's like you pulled a Gimli.
That's right, exactly. You have to toss me. Don't tell the elf. Have faith, boy. Have faith. We'll just have him throw him. It's whichever you want to do. It's fine. I don't care. I don't either. So the thing starts raising up. And so there's a couple moments in here. Did Darth Maul know that Ezra was going to show up? Because he just sort of seems to go right into this, all right, it's time to lay my moves on my new apprentice kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I just don't know if I just don't know.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Because there are 2 moments here where he kind of gets to build that trust. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, you throw me, okay, it worked, and then, you got to come back, and then he starts to fall, and of course, you got Darth Maul looking down at someone in a pit, and it makes you think of episode 1, and he even pulls Ezra up by his hand that's got the holocron, so you think he's just really pulling the holocron, but then no, he picks him up. Yeah. And it's like, oh, see, they're okay. Yeah. But not really.
Nope.
It's just a trick.
Just a trick.
Just a trick by the jackwagon known as Darth Maul. So, Where does this put us? It puts us right here. Kanan and Ahsoka notice that something's going on with the temple, but then are suddenly attacked by the fifth brother and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. his wife.
That's right, exactly. His wife shows up. She's really mad. Starts hitting him with a sword that glows. It's just very bad. Kanan and Ahsoka engage the three Inquisitors, and then so do Ezra and Maul. Quickly overpowered by the former Sith Lord and the Jedi, the Inquisitors are forced to retreat.
He just straight up drops the act by that point. He's like, I don't need the cane no more.
That's
I don't
right.
need nothing. I never needed the cane in the first place.
It's got my lightsaber in it. Here we go.
Yeah. Now, I've read something that said that around this point, I think, that Duel of the Fates was played.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember hearing Duel of the Fates. Now, I remember because I was trying to listen for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard some cues that started to sound like it, but it never went directly into it.
Well, I think that's what people should have said.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's definitely some... He uses some of the same chord progressions.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go straight up into it.
Yeah.
Okay. You're exactly right. But of course, you know, if you were like me, it's like you were listening because you were just expecting. It's like it kind of, you need it a little bit.
Just
needs,
a little.
It needs to be there. And sure enough, it was. I was actually disappointed we didn't get like some straight up Darth Vader theme music when Darth Vader shows up.
Yeah, even though we got it in the last episode, a freaking owl was there.
When he keeps sitting there with an owl. But Darth Vader shows up with his cape flowing on the top of a TIE fighter. Nothing. Not a darn thing. It's like, what's up with that? But anyway, so, let's see. Kanan and Ezra and Ahsoka and Darth Maul now are fighting against the Inquisitors. Mm-hmm. The Inquisitors retreat, and Maul explains to the rebels that he is searching for the same knowledge that they are, and insists that they join forces if they are to survive. And of course, here's where we find out that apparently Ahsoka and Maul have had some interaction that we don't know about.
Right.
And he refers to her as Lady Tano.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that just seems too specific.
What's that about?
To not be from that story that we don't know about, that Dave told both Ashley and Sam. You know, they know.
Yeah, they know about it.
We should call them up and be like, hey, what happened?
Hey, what happened?
What happened? What happened? I can't do my work.
15 points if you get that one.
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, yeah, there's clearly...
What does that sound?
That's my upstairs neighbor flushing the toilet.
Okay.
They like to do that late at night. Yeah, it's important. It's midnight.
Quit doing that up there.
I'm trying to do a song here. Give me a harmonica. You know Forrest Gump.
I know.
I know Forrest Gump. I know Bass.
We just talked about it
for like 2 minutes. So I thought the interaction between Kanan and Darth Maul was unexpected in that, like, Kanan's just kind of annoyed by him.
Yeah.
You know, Ahsoka has a little more hesitancy, and Kanan's just like the annoyed dad, like, what do you, no, we're not together.
Yeah, he's a Sith Lord.
Come on.
Quit it, kid.
For real. We can trust him. Yeah, why don't you go talk to a duck?
Yeah.
Or hack off a spider by trying to connect with it. Meanwhile, the grown-ups are going to go over here and do important things. Right. Like not trust a Sith Lord. Mush for brains. If you take your IQ, multiply it by 100, you might have enough intelligence to tie your shoe. If you don't drool all over yourself first.
What's that from?
UHF.
Oh, yeah.
I think I care about the pea-brain yokels in this town. This town means about as much to me as a festering bowl of dog snot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good movie.
It is a very good movie.
That's a very good movie. You should go see it, folks. UHF. They've got it all.
Yep.
They've got it all on UHF. You know, Weird Al's coming to Alabama.
Again?
Yes.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Has he got a new album coming out or something?
No, but he's doing a tour for his last album. The Mandatory Fun.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, you know who else is coming to Birmingham?
Who?
The Alabama Symphony Orchestra. Of course, they come to Birmingham a lot since they're the Alabama Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
But in a little over a month, they're coming to do sci-fi music. We need to order our tickets soon.
Yeah, we do.
So we can go and listen.
Yeah. We can have a review.
Yes.
On the Inner Doctor.
We'll tell you all about the music we heard.
Yep.
Yes. It'll be sweet. It'll be fun. Yes. 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 So, where were we at? Oh, yes. Yes, they were talking. I don't know what this is. I'm sorry. It's late. It's midnight. All is not well. So, where does this bring us to? Yes, here's what it brings us to. So Maul suggested they join forces because the Inquisitors are going to bring Darth Vader. Which apparently is what the Inquisitors do.
They bring Darth Vader.
They bring Darth Vader. Like Dave Filoni points this out, that they draw the prey out, Darth Vader shows up, takes him out.
Yep.
That's how it goes. And the Inquisitors are just peons to him. They're expendable. They're fodder.
Yeah.
They're like deer urine in a cup.
Okay.
You know, when you go hunting...
I've never been hunting.
Neither have I, but a lot of people in my family have.
I didn't know they put it in a cup. I knew they put it on themselves.
Well, yeah, like you get it in the little bottles. I used the wrong word when I said cup. But, you know,
I thought they were putting it like in a solo cup or something, like sitting next to them.
That's right, yeah. Got my deer pee. Yes, you see, folks...
Hope I don't accidentally pick this up and drink it.
That'll be really awkward. What's up with... Oh, no, I have to burn my mouth out now. Yes, folks, if you're not aware, when you go hunting, apparently sometimes, if you're hunting deer, one of the things that you do is you want to make yourself not smell like a human.
Yeah.
So you make yourself smell like deer urine.
Right. It's fun, I guess.
Yeah, so you go and you buy the deer urine. And you put it on you. So I guess the Inquisitors are kind of like the deer urine in a sense. Okay. So they help bring out... That's where I'm going with this. They help bring out the thing you're hunting.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's a good analogy.
I thought it was a really, really good analogy. I'm very proud that I came up with it. Especially given the lateness of the hour, the fact that my brain is so well oiled that it could do that. It's pretty mind-blowing. Yeah. Did you know James Arnold Taylor recently read one of the Dr. Seuss books as Marty McFly and Christopher Walken?
I did not know that.
Yes. On his YouTube page, he's been doing some like Ask James Arnold Taylor, ask questions, like people email him questions and then he answers them, and he's going to do a show, some kind of like, you know, he's going to call it the Jat Show, and he's going to have like guests and things like that apparently. Mm-hmm. And so he's been doing various things, kind of, you know, trying to build up hype for that. And he's been doing various, like sometimes he'll do blogs or vlogs where he's doing like recording the promos for Fox, like Sunday Fun Day, you know, thing, you know, tonight on Fox. But he's also read a couple of Dr. Seuss books in some of the voices that he does. Oh. So he did one of them. Oh, he read Green Eggs and Ham as Johnny Test and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, cool.
And then he did, I forgot the name of the book. It's a book about, like, there might be this thing over here in my bed, and there might be this thing over here in the door. It's one of Seuss's more real nonsensical ones, where it's like he rhymes by making up words. Yeah. But he reads it as Marty McFly and Christopher Walken. Huh. And it's pretty good. I bet. Because he does great with those voices. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So where were we? Okay. You like that? Okay. Let's see. So, while Kanan and Ahsoka show little trust towards the former Sith, Ezra is more supportive. That's what we just said. Internet. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So instead of retreating, Kanan, Ahsoka, Ezra, and Maul head for the temple, despite Kanan and Ahsoka's reluctance to trust him. Pretty soon, our allies reach the Sith temple, and it turns out that the corners of the different levels are these fancy little elevators. Yeah. Which I just thought was a neat design idea. Yeah. Would be kind of
Don't
dangerous.
You have to have two on them to make a move? Yeah.
That's exactly right. You know? So it's like if you're like
I guess if you got to go flush the toilet, you got to take your Sith buddy with you.
Come on, we got to... Well, what happens if like you get up to the top with your Sith buddy and then, you know, all your Sithness gets the best of you and you get real angry and you kill your buddy?
You're right.
And you can't get down. I guess you could slide down. Yeah. But then what if you want to get back up? Then you can't.
You got to get a new Sith buddy.
You got to get a new Sith buddy. Be like, I killed the other one, I ain't going to kill you. You're cool.
I promise I won't.
Promise. We got to go to the bathroom. Come on. Let's go. Chop, chop. I need to empty my bladder or the dark side will not be happy. That's the way it works around here with us Sith. Mm-hmm. Pretty soon, they make it, like we said, to the temple. In an attempt to get their hands on the holocron, the Inquisitors attack, and they start getting picked off.
Mm-hmm. Here's where it begins.
Yes. Things start to get on the fan.
Right.
If you could use such a crude analogy. So, let's see. One by one, at the hands of Maul, the Inquisitors were defeated and killed. And again, Filoni points out, not just defeated, but defeated and killed. Mm-hmm. We've got this scene where they're fighting, that is, Ezra and Ezra and Maul are fighting one of them, and Maul holds him up and says, Ezra, kill him.
Yeah.
And Ezra, won't do it. It's not the Jedi way.
Right. And
so what does Maul do? Maul kills him.
Yeah.
And it's like, next time you hesitate, it could cost you your life.
Yeah. Which is like, that's not the Jedi way, I agree. But,
at the same time,
it's kind of right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's almost like the way that you do it.
Right.
Like, and we're going to hold you up and then we're going to cut you like a fish. Like, that's probably not the Jedi way to do it. But the notion of, aren't you wanting to defeat these guys? And some people will only be defeated if you kill them.
Right.
Not that you want to kill them.
Yep.
But you might have to.
Yep.
So it's one of those things, if I don't agree with Darth Maul's viciousness here, but, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but you got to do it in the right kind of way, and that's part of the problem.
But, talking about the Inquisitors and killing them, like Dave Filoni was talking about, like, he also basically said that, there are probably more Inquisitors out there.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see some more next season, but they'll probably get killed too.
Yeah. But he said, truthfully, the answer is that it's as many as we need for the plot.
Yeah.
But people don't like that answer, so we're just not going to pin anything down.
Right.
Yeah. And apparently, Sarah Michelle Gellar was bummed out that
she's just like, you're offing me or something like that.
It's like, yeah. And he's like, it always feels bad to have to do that, but because she was really enjoying the character. And it's like, you could have kept her around, but I understand.
They'll just give her another voice to do.
That's right. That's what you do.
It's like, you got to, or Freddie Prinze ain't going to be on your show
more.
I'm not
going to do season 3 unless you bring my wife back. Right. I'm just saying. She's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She came back from the dead once. She could do it again.
Right. Yeah.
And for some reason, Freddie Prinze Jr. right there was almost from Brooklyn, and he was almost Psy from the Duck Dynasty. Hey, listen, Anyway, where were we? Yes. So, what did you think as we're bidding a fond farewell to the Inquisitors? In general, what did you think of them? Because to me, she was the one I thought that was the most interesting.
Yeah, and she was the one they gave the most time to.
Yeah, the others were
other than the first one, the Grand Inquisitor. Yeah. But I mean, I like them. I would like to know more about where they came from.
Yeah, what's their deal? How do they get recruited? How long have they been doing what they're doing?
Yeah.
What's in it for them? Because, do they want to be Sith? Has Vader been like, I'll make you my apprentice, maybe? And then he turns around, Palpatine, not really serious.
And that's what I was going to say, is like, I would really like to know what exactly their relationship with Vader is. Like, we know that, or at least by what Filoni said, we know that what their job is, but how does Vader actually feel about them?
Yeah. Be interesting to find out.
And how do they feel about Vader?
Yeah, exactly. Because they kind of seem like when they're defeated earlier on in the episode, then they kind of go huddle, in the corner, and they talk about how Vader will want this. They kind of seem to be like, "Yay, we'll make Vader happy." So that they don't seem to have this animosity towards him, which again it just raises that question even more and makes you think, well. Maybe that's why they could never be Sith, because they don't have the hate enough.
That's quite possible, yeah.
It's like you can't be liking him. You don't like anybody. You're evil.
Right.
If you like people, you're a wimp. You're a wuss. At least in the minds of the evil. So And as Filoni pointed out, Maul pretty much did all the killing of the Inquisitors. I mean, one of them died because he tried to escape on his lightsaber helicopter, and it split in two and he fell down. Mm-hmm. But Maul killed the rest of them. And pretty intensely, too.
Yeah.
So, bye-bye, Inquisitors. Oh, and by the way, bye-bye Kanan's ability to see.
Yeah.
Here's when it really...
It's like, oh no, things are happening.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, you killing off the Inquisitors, a big deal, but it happened last season with a pretty big-name actor, and then you randomly brought him back in this interesting way as we find out that he had been a Jedi, blah, blah, blah. So, killing off the Inquisitors isn't that unprecedented. It's still a big plot point, but... And then you have Maul turn on them, which again, you kind of saw coming.
Yeah, sure.
But then you take away Kanan's ability to see.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about that is how all Jedi in Star Wars suffer. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Yoda loses the entire Jedi Order. Mm-hmm. Qui-Gon lost his life. Obi-Wan lost his apprentice and then lost his life.
Yeah.
Ahsoka got, expelled or left the Jedi Order. You got, Kanan now lost his sight. Looks like Ezra's gonna maybe turn evil and then probably lose his life.
Yep.
And you got Luke, like up until after episode 6, we now know that Luke lost the new Jedi Order.
Exactly.
So every single one of them, it's like Lucasfilm and Disney really put their Jedi characters through their paces.
They put the hurt on them.
Yeah.
Something fierce. It's like C-3PO said. They seem to be made to suffer.
Yeah.
It's their lot in life.
Yep.
And it's really true. And Filoni talked about the fact that we've seen Jedi lose hands and things like that before, so this was kind of a different take on it. And when it first happened, I thought he was just temporarily blind.
I did too.
But then when he put on the helmet,
I was like, it's like for real.
He might not be coming back from this.
Yeah,
that's a game changer.
And I liked how he didn't want to let Ezra know what happened.
Yeah.
Because when he's like, why are you wearing that thing? And he's kind of like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And he keeps fighting and he's still good.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really, and according to some of the things I've read, and I actually did pick up on this as I was watching it, but I don't know if it's necessarily purposeful though, like what I've read. But they say it was a reference to the Force Unleashed games, and there was a Jedi Master that the Apprentice finds that had been blinded.
Yeah, and
they say it's a reference to that. And I was like,
maybe.
It could be, I guess. I mean, it made me think of that.
Yeah,
but I wasn't like, that's probably where they got the idea.
Yeah, it could just be a case of both. The creators of both things drawing from similar previous sources, I mean, that notion of sort of the blinded master is not unique to Star Wars by any stretch. So, I think it would be more likely to be something like that.
Yeah.
So, so he's blinded, and Darth Maul declares that Kanan is his apprentice. I mean, that Ezra's his apprentice. He's like, my apprentice is going to go do this thing. Oh, by the way, it's a big honking weapon that I'm going to use to kill everybody. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Darth Maul wins.
Yeah.
Take that. And so I was like, okay, it's kind of making sense now. Darth Maul thinks he's got himself a super weapon. It's Star Wars. This is what we do. Yep. Super weapon. But it's an ancient Sith super weapon. And that's just, that brings it a different kind of a flavor. Like you talked about, we could have put that in the movie.
Yeah.
We need some Old Republic stuff. Books or comic or
because all this this lore that they're setting up now for that. I mean, they started doing it in Clone Wars, and they're expanding on it here. Like they really need to start letting us know about that time period of when there were more Sith and they were warring with the Jedi. We really need to see that.
Agreed. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So Ezra, not being aware of all that's going on here, reaches the top of the temple, and the Rebels wiki says, blindly following Maul's given instructions. I would say, stupidly following Maul's instructions. He places the hologron inside a device that activates the temple weapon. And then Asajj Ventress starts talking.
Right.
She's not Asajj Ventress.
Yeah.
She is a character that Dave Filoni has named. She was this ancient Sith, and he apparently knows something about her.
And he won't tell nobody.
He won't tell nobody. He's being coy. He's keeping it all in his hat, you see. But he decided to bring up Nika Futterman to do the voice. So she starts talking. I'm like, at first I thought it was Mother Talzin. At the split for very, very, very beginning when she said it first, like, is that Mother Talzin? I'm like, no, that's Asajj Ventress. Okay, so it can't really be Asajj Ventress. It's just Nika Futterman.
Yeah.
And that's the case.
But, about Dave Filoni doing that, naming a character, not telling nobody about it, it's just, to me, that kind of stuff's neat that, Star Wars lore is still getting written.
Yeah.
Like stuff that we don't know about that may get, brought up later on either, as a reference or, maybe we'll see a full-blown story with that character or something like that. It's just neat that, it's neat that Filoni has that power to be like, hey, I'm going to write something that's going to be lore in Star Wars forever.
Yep. It's like you'd be sitting on your toilet and be like, I'm going to create some Star Wars right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to put it in a movie. I don't have to put it in a comic book. I don't have to put it in a TV show. I just have to tell them, hey, I came up with this and here are the notes. Put it in with the notes.
Right.
It's lore now. Boom.
Yep. Well, and it's like that's one advantage you have now to the story group and stuff like that is like, things like that can be done in an official manner rather than somebody write some random book somewhere and now that's canon.
Yeah. Like, and then they had some backstory ideas, but then the next person that writes the book had no idea about those, and so they can't jump off of what this person had in their mind because it was just what was in their mind, and the only thing that counts is what they wrote down.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And again, Dave even talked about how doing some of these things, making these notes so that down the road things can hook up together better. So it's definitely for something like Star Wars where you have this sort of large, expansive, multimedia kind of juggernaut. You need something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. So Maul is, of course, happy as a pig in slop because he feels that he's victorious, he has won, and he now has the power, and he's got Ezra. But Kanan does not agree, and puts on the helmet. And I thought it was interesting that it was a Temple Guard helmet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of echoing that a little bit. And the wiki article says Kanan rejoined the fight and defeated Maul by sending him off the edge of the temple. And it's like, yeah, because he didn't really fight him.
No.
I mean, he did for a minute there, but it was like, boop, 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 and then, ole!
Right.
And then Darth Maul goes down. And Darth Maul doesn't bother to float himself up to keep fighting.
Nope.
He's just like, oh, okay, well, looking at the time, and I'm looking at everything that's going on, it's probably about time for me to just kind of sneak off, and exit so that they'll see me at the end of the episode and know that I'm still out there. I think some Clone Wars crap's about to take over the show anyway. I don't know. I was in Clone Wars. In fact, that's a pretty big deal in Clone Wars. But I guess I'll just, I can hop up there. He's blonde. I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
Should I go? Yeah, I'll go. Where am I going to go? How am I going to get out of here? I was stuck here. Oh, wait, hey, I'll take one of them ships. That's what I'll do. All right, y'all see me in a minute. So I'm going to go over here. And so that's exactly what happens. So Ezra has discovered Darth Maul's deception. Hey, guys, it's just a weapon.
Okay.
Way to go, genius. Did you connect with it? Did some blue whale tell you about it in space?
Yeah.
No, it was Asajj Ventress voice, and she said, "You have the power to kill people." I was like, "No, I don't want that." Which is funny. It's like, well, what do you want? How are you going to love the Emperor to death? I mean, again, it comes back to this thing we talked about before. It's like, are you saying that you can never use lethal force on an enemy that, you know, I mean, I know obviously that ultimately you're not supposed to with Vader because Vader is going to turn good. And if you kill off Vader, then Vader can never turn good. I get that and everything. But you don't know that's what's going to happen because you haven't seen episode 6 like I have. Characters in the film and the books and the movies and stuff and the TV show here. But what does Vader do when he snaps back into Anakin at the end of episode 6? You say, wait, hey Palpatine, stop.
Quit it.
We need to talk. You need to be arrested because you've done bad things and you've hurt my son and you hurt my baby girl. I didn't even know I had a baby girl. You know, remember back in the day when you lied to me and you said that wife died and that the kid was dead? I didn't even know I had 2 kids. I just thought I had one and they were dead. But then it turns out they had 2. And they're both like, remember that? And you lied to me about Papa. You lied to me about all that. Oh, and made my face a triangle because you like triangles so much. Remember all that? Well, you're under arrest. No, what did he do?
He threw him down the hole.
Threw him down the hole. And killed him.
Yep.
Sometimes the bad guy has to die.
Yep. That's right.
So it's this tension with Star Wars. It was like, killing's bad, but it's Star Wars.
Right.
Then the great heroic moment in episode 6 is when somebody kills somebody.
Yeah.
What are we doing? But I did think that talking about killing and talking about conflict, remember in the interview when Dave Filoni brings up how a lot of what our rebels are doing is causing conflict. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're doing it to disrupt the Empire, but nonetheless, they're doing that, and that's what Ezra's seeing a lot of. That's what he's experiencing. They don't have a negotiator with them.
Yeah.
You know, Kanan tried to do that a little bit with the Mandalorians, and eventually it worked, but there was some conflict beforehand. And Dave makes the point that just living a life that involves all of this conflict, it stands to reason that would start to affect Ezra a little bit. And again, it's like, you mean like when they went to the gas planet and killed a bunch of folks to get gas? Exactly what we're talking about, which makes you think, okay, well, maybe they're not completely unaware of that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's... And I don't know that if someone had said to me before today, or, because when I read the article, that someone said, they not realize they're killing off characters, they're having their good characters kill off people randomly. I wouldn't have said, no, they're stupid, they don't realize it. I wouldn't have said that necessarily, but I still would have been like, but it doesn't seem like it's being addressed in any way. It's kind of a Rey at the end of episode 7 kind of deal, where we were concerned that the movie might not realize that Rey was flirting with the dark side a little bit.
But it did.
And then the movie, it turns out, the movie knew exactly what it was doing.
Yeah. And
so I think maybe we've got a similar sort of thing going on here. At least in the sense of we're exploring the consequences of what the rebels are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, so it's like, what are you saying? They shouldn't be rebels? Are you saying that they shouldn't? I mean, it's. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
It's touchy.
It's touchy. It's not feely. It's just touchy.
Just touchy.
It's tricky, as Nigel would say. It's not tricky. It's not tricky.
It's not tricky.
Because we taught him that's sometimes I was like, well, but it's a little tricky, isn't it? And so now that's why that's his word for can't figure it out or it's tough to do. So it's tricky. It's not tricky. And so, well, it's not tricky, Nigel. So Darth Maul's left. Ezra discovered the deception, and worst of all, he was confronted. Oh yeah, okay. That sentence was weirdly written. It says, meanwhile, Ezra had discovered Darth Maul's deception, and worst of all, he was confronted by Darth Vader himself. What? But, yeah, he was like, hey, y'all, blah, 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 it's a weapon. And then, Darth Vader.
No music.
No music at all. Nothing at all. Nothing. Not a thing. Not at all. So here he is. Darth Vader shows up. Mm-hmm. What did you think about Darth Vader's presence in this episode?
In what way?
Just like, for me, I guess, let me say this, maybe it will help you understand what the poop I'm asking.
Okay.
Because it was a little bit of a wide open question. I thought his shoes looked nice, but
his boots were all a little tight.
That cape was something else. we've got more dialogue
That
from...
codpiece looks uncomfortable.
I would hate to be him. Let me tell you right now. Hey, don't you know that must have been painful there? You need to get something. Sit down and take a load off there, man. Have a beer or something, eh? You hoser. This is more dialogue from Vader than we've had since Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
If you think about it. Because he showed up briefly a little bit in season 1 and a couple times here in season 2. But not much. But Vader's talking up a storm in this episode. And it was like, okay, he feels more like Vader and not, we put Darth Vader in this cartoon show. Yeah. If that makes sense. It's like, okay, there's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And I think it was just more dialogue and he's doing more stuff and not just showing up to be like, holy poop, I'm in this shot, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
He was doing character stuff. Mm-hmm. So for me, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So what happened? Well, let's see what the internet says happened. Ezra engages the Sith Lord in a short fight that ends with his lightsaber being destroyed. Vader is preparing to kill him, and you knew it was coming. You know that he was going to be stopped, and you knew, at least I knew who was going to stop him.
Yeah.
It's like, here it comes.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Ahsoka shows up, and Vader is, the Wikipedia says, delighted to finally meet her. I wouldn't quite put it that way.
Yeah, he's jumping for joy about that one.
I don't think Vader's delighted about anything at this point in his life. Anakin is not a delighted man. But so they meet while not adversaries. He assured her. Poorly worded sentence. Sorry. The idea is that Vader's telling her, we don't have to be adversaries. The Emperor will reward you if you tell me where the other Jedi are. Mm-hmm. And of course, she's not going to do it. She says there are no more Jedi. And then that's when... Well, here it says, after Vader coldly admitted to killing her master, Ahsoka engaged the Sith in a lightsaber duel to avenge his death. Again, that's true, but not exactly the idea.
A little bit more.
Yeah. Yes.
Going on there.
Yeah. So she says, I thought I was figuring out who you are under that mask, but I have to be wrong. There's no way that my old master would be so vicious. And Vader, says Anakin Skywalker was weak, so I had to kill him.
Yeah.
Who does that sound like? I mean, other than Vader and other places. And other than Ed Norton and that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Other than Ed Norton and Fear. Or whatever the name of that movie. Primal Fear. Yeah. Kylo Ren.
Yeah. That's very true, yeah.
I mean, he says a very similar sort of thing.
Yeah.
Your son was weak. I had to get rid of him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Granddaddy said words similar.
That's right. They share this connection, the two of them, don't you know? And so he says that I had to kill him. And she says, so then I will have to avenge him, and then they fight.
Well, no.
Oh, yeah.
She said, I will avenge him, and he says, revenge is not the Jedi way. And she says,
that's right.
She says, I'm no Jedi. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's when I got the big, goosebump moment.
For some reason, I thought that was in their second fight, but that's right. It was here. It was here. And so, booyah.
Oh. It's like it's going down, baby, tonight.
Okay, in the Ranger. Wait. So let's see. They duel. At first, the pair seems to be evenly matched, but Vader gradually drives Ahsoka towards the edge of the temple, then force pushes her over the edge. Ezra, meanwhile, in something we don't care about as much because it's not Ahsoka and Anakin, tries to retrieve the holo... Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Still like their story. And I thought it was interesting how Filoni was talking about he didn't want Anakin and Ahsoka to overpower this story about Ezra and Kanan, which brings to mind the question of, okay, so it seems clear that when Dave is thinking about this story, he's not thinking about it in terms of, it's all of these characters' stories. He's thinking about it mainly being Ezra and Kanan, and it goes by extension the rest of our band of rebels that the show began with. But it just made me think about the question of what is the end game. You know, you talk about this journey that they're on and the story that they're on, and it sounds like we're not going to see Ahsoka again in the show because she's accomplished what she needed to, in this arc, for what's going on at this point in the lives of Kanan and Ezra. Mm-hmm. So it just makes me think, well, where are we headed? You know? And do they know? And I figure that they
probably know.
They know. But it'll just be interesting to see because again, are we wrapping up with here's a show that's going to end with our characters dying?
I mean, as bad as it sounds to say, I hope so.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, just to keep everything kosher.
Yeah. At best, with Kanan being blinded, maybe he gets out of the game and, goes off and, there's a hermit thing. But still,
he's got to die.
He's got to die. He's got to. It's got to be a sad chapter.
Yep.
Is what it has to be. But maybe they can go out doing something heroic.
Yeah.
I think that's what you do. You have them. You have it be an end of a Phantasy Star game, or something like that, where they all died, but at least they saved things.
Yeah.
You do something like that.
Yeah.
Don't have them go out like a punk.
Right.
As it were. But anyway, so Ezra, in the part we don't care about as much about, but we do care, is trying to retrieve the holocron, but is unable to do so because you need to. And so Kanan comes up there. They work together. Can't see. You got to pull. I don't know, something about this whole imagery of blinded Kanan that
it's disturbing.
It's disturbing. It is. It's unsettling.
Like that's the thing. It's like you can have a guy lose a hand. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's kind of, I mean, that's bad.
It ain't so bad.
It ain't so bad.
To only have one.
But it's not so bad, but like when you lose your sight, especially when you're like in Kanan's case, when you're a fighter. Yeah. Like, and you can't see anymore. I mean, it's kind of like, it's kind of like Daredevil.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and now he's going to have to adapt. He's going to have to change pretty much everything he knows to be able to keep doing what he's doing.
Exactly.
That's disturbing. Yeah. And not only that, but like he's gotten blinded while everything basically is falling apart right now.
Exactly.
I mean, his boy is, turning to the dark side. The super weapon's about to go off. The Inquisitors were around. They got knocked off. Now Vader's here. He's fighting Ahsoka down there. Like, and I can't see anything. Yeah. Like, that's what makes it, to me, that's what makes it disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it. It humanizes the character in a way that just losing his hand wouldn't have done.
Exactly.
And how often do you see a blind CG animated character?
Yeah.
There's just something about that takes this animated character and makes him more human by having him in this situation. And of course, again, like we pointed out, he was able to fight because apparently your eye is going to deceive you. Don't trust them thing actually works out sometimes. Yep. That comes in handy. But still, that's a very different matter from just living your life. And you think about just this season, all the things that Kanan has done. Now do those things blind.
Yep. And I mean, not to mention the fact he'll never see Hera again.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's pretty powerful stuff right there.
I mean, is Kanan going to go through like a mourning period over his sight?
Yeah.
Is he going to go through an I can't be of any help to you because I'm a magnet to Force people, including the Emperor and the Vader and the Inquisitors, and also I can't see anything, so I'm just useless. Yeah. Is he gonna be like, I want to see like you do. Beautiful shades and dim hues. Go home, Jordy, you're drunk.
That's number 3.
That's right. Oh, Jordy. Jordy, these times.
Blind Jordy Bridge.
Blind Jordy Bridge. You go back and listen to that episode. But it is going to be... I don't know. That's the thing about this
like, how are they just going to handle that character from this point on?
Well, and Filoni said that he sees this episode as being the first of a multi-part series of episodes that picks up at the beginning of season 3. So we're going to see the fallout.
Oh.
But I wonder how many episodes that fallout will entail. What will be the new normal? How might that relate into the finale of the show?
Yeah. It's... Didn't we talk about this before, but aren't the character models getting updated next season?
I'm not sure. I don't think we've talked about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do a little bit.
Seems like we talked about maybe maybe Ezra getting an update soon.
Yeah.
Or something. But, for some reason, I just imagine them now, now that things have changed so much, it's that's when you'd put the new character models in.
Yeah, exactly. Now's when you do it.
Yeah.
Now's the time. If you have warriors, now's the time. So let's see. We've got Kanan and Ezra. They've got the holocron out, which shuts down the weapon, but also starts to have the temple collapse. Ezra and Kanan try to escape to the Phantom, but Vader tries to stop them from escaping. Having survived the fall, Ahsoka intervenes, and here's where it really goes down. Because I'll be honest, up until the whole I'm no Jedi thing, was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I was still, even up until this point, being like, I want there to be more impact.
To this.
There should be more to this. There should be more. I mean, we've been hyping it up. Ahsoka and Anakin are finally going to meet again. And what's that going to be like? I'm like, call her snips. Do something that really drives home the connection. Because up until this point, yes, there's been talk of Anakin, was weak and I killed him. My master would never do that. I mean, there's been talk of that. But this connection... So far, it's felt like I'm watching Darth Vader and Ahsoka. I want to feel like Anakin and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And then it happens. Because she jumps in the fray. She slices his helmet.
Yeah.
Kanan and Ezra escape. Start to escape. They don't want to fully escape, but she makes them, go off and face Vader alone. But so then he's breathing difficulty, interestingly enough, using the breathing sound from episode 6. So it's his mask, and then he says her name.
And it's him.
And it ain't Vader.
Yeah.
It's not James Earl Jones anyway.
Yeah.
It's Anakin. It's Matt Lanter.
But still with that effect on there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, that's perfect.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, this is when it's on.
Yeah.
This is when it's on. And so I wish I'd written down the dialogue just for note's sake. Let's see what the episode guide here says. Anakin Skywalker, despite showing compassion towards him, Vader coldly decided to kill her. Yeah, that was awfully quick. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember. He calls out her name, and she's like, okay, and I forgot what all they say, except at the end. When she says, I won't leave you, not this time. Like, she's reaching out to him. Yeah. She's like, she knows, she had that vision on Lothal where he's like, you abandoned me, you left me, blah, blah. So she's trying to make amends for that. I won't leave you again. And what does Anakin say?
I can't remember.
Then you will die.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing
for his girl.
Nothing for his girl. Which, again, going back to what Filoni said, how he and George talked about this, and that you cannot have Ahsoka start to pull Anakin back, because that's what Luke does.
Yep.
It's this bond this connection between father and son is what does it. So, Dave said, the most you get is when he says her name, when he's like, Ahsoka. And that's as close as you can get. And I think that's right on, and that's great, because you want to keep the integrity of the saga as a whole going. But also, I think that this is a great moment because it shows us how deeply entrenched in the dark side Anakin is. That his apprentice, his Padawan learner, who he had a very strong connection with, who he trained and she left and he was upset about it and so on, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
The most you get is him saying her name in a way that might make you think he cares. And that's it.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty intense.
It's pretty intense.
Like, one thing that I thought was interesting is the only people who have ever been able to, from every time we've seen Vader do anything, I mean, and I'm including stuff like the comics, all that. The only people who have been able to do significant damage to Darth Vader have been the people that are close to him.
Yep. And that's very interesting point.
Yeah. And like you have, with Ahsoka here, I mean, she just like jumps down or jumps on him and just like, boom, whap!
Wreck shop.
Yeah. It's like, and it's oddly enough, except for Luke, both the other people have been closely connected with his fighting style.
Yes.
Like, so, Ahsoka learned how to do a lot of what she can do from him. Obi-Wan taught him what he knows.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that were able to say, now I'm gonna hurt you, boy.
Yep. I'm gonna hurt you real bad.
Yeah. So
that connection.
And I would even say, like, I don't know, to me, and I guess this is a pretty big thing for me to say, like, I actually think, like, Ahsoka getting the better of him right there is actually probably, to me, a little more powerful than Obi-Wan getting the better of him. Because, I mean, Obi-Wan cut off his legs and his arm and stuff like that. But, here we have even more angry Anakin.
Yes.
Like, he's a lot more, probably, like, with drawing on the dark side and everything like that, he's a lot more powerful than he was when he fought.
Yeah. He probably hasn't cried in years at this point, compared to he cried just a few hours previous to his Obi-Wan fight. I'm just kind of thinking about it in terms of how
his emotional state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's cold and calculating. He's in the dark side. He's anger. He's evil. Here, he doesn't have as many physical appendages, but he's got that dark side strength.
Yeah. And you get this sense that, like, if Ahsoka would have wanted to, she could have killed him. And whereas, Obi-Wan, it's like, Obi-Wan could have done it, back then, just, he could have killed him out of mercy. Like, there was no chance that, Obi-Wan, or that, I don't know, there was probably no chance that right then a duel to the death was actually gonna happen. Yeah. Like, cause I always got the sense that in episode 3, Obi-Wan's going easy on him anyway.
Yeah, me too.
But here, Ahsoka's just like, bam, there's part of your mask gone, boy.
What you think about that?
Like, next thing that might be gone is your face.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's, I don't know, there's just something about that that, to me was a little bit more impactful than even in episode 3.
Yeah, I agree. Just because of the time that's gone by since his fall. I thought that the imagery of Vader, full-on masked Vader, but with this bit of it gone, and you could see one of his eyes, and it brought Anakin and Vader together in a way that we haven't had a chance to see. Because in episode 3 even, he's Hayden Christensen as Anakin, and then he's getting the mask on him.
Once that mask comes down, it's like he's
Vader.
He's Vader.
He's James Earl Jones, and there you go. But here's this moment when they cross.
Yeah.
When it's Anakin's voice as Vader. I know that Anakin was Vader before he put on the suit. I know that. Yeah. But here's what we think of as Vader. Yeah. But with Anakin's voice.
And then you have it visually and, like, emotionally with, the beginning being, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And then you'll die.
Yeah.
But seeing that face, I mean, seeing the half Darth Vader, half Anakin, it's like, that makes it even bigger.
Yeah.
And even drives the point of it being, kind of a cross between the two home even more. Yeah. And then you get the sense it's like, okay, it's like not just this guy in a suit has gone full dark side. It's the guy in the suit.
Anakin has gone. Yeah, exactly. I would love for in Rogue One, the rumors are that Vader's going to have something of a substantial role in Rogue One.
Yeah.
I would love at some point for us to see him like in his hyperbolic meditation chamber or something, have that mask off, and it be Hayden.
Yeah.
Because here's a chance, we've got it now CG, here's a chance live action to do the same thing, of bridging, Anakin and Vader. And you can do it without weakening. There are still people, I think maybe my father-in-law is one of them, that thinks you should have never unmasked Vader. You should, like at the end of Return of the Jedi, you should never take the mask off and see. It's like,
if
you're missing the point.
Yeah, if you don't, it's like his character makes no sense.
Yeah, the whole point is that his character's redeemed.
Yeah, now it's him.
Yeah,
like,
it's back to being Anakin. Yeah,
yeah.
So that makes me shake my head a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah. So, do you think Ahsoka lived?
Yes.
Yeah.
And not just because of the Filoni thing. Because he said, he left it kind of ambiguous. And, you see her walking back into the temple. And, some people have said that that's kind of a metaphoric thing or a figurative type thing. I don't think it is. I think she's still down there.
Yeah.
Question is, what's she doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I almost think it's kind of an exile thing.
It's like this is her Dagobah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, there's nothing I can really do. Right. Like, the only thing I can do is kill him. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay down here.
And if she did survive, it brings up the interesting question of how, because it seems pretty clear that Anakin wanted to kill her. So she's not alive by Anakin's choice. So did she give Anakin a legitimate run for his money and he had to retreat? I don't know that you'd go there.
That's the thing. I don't think necessarily that he, we talked about, what Filoni said about the, you can't have her doing anything to redeem him.
Right.
And I don't think they cross that, but you get those shots at the end of, Vader kind of looking like, basically like he's thinking.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think he's thinking about, what I did was bad.
Right.
Or anything. But I do think he let her live, or at least he decided I'm not going to pursue her.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just leave her alone.
Yeah.
And, because, almost kind of like this, this kind of thing, I'm not going to tell Palpatine about this.
Yeah, exactly. It's cold, it's calculating, I'm doing it for evil reasons, I'm not doing it because I have pity on her. But, well, I guess she'll live.
Yeah.
Almost this, the good of Anakin that is still there is involved in the decision, but Anakin doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
Kind of. Again, just like with Luke. How in Empire Strikes Back, he's like, join me and together we can rule as father and son. Anakin probably thinks he's doing this for purely evil, dark side reasons.
Yeah.
But we know that he's not.
Because he's looking at his kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And by episode 6, Anakin realizes it too. That's why his tone is completely different. Yep. And that's why at the end he snaps out of it and offs Palpatine.
Yep.
Because he finally allowed the good that's in him to come back to the surface. But I thought it was what Dave said about how when Anakin looks at Ahsoka, she reminds him of who he once was, and he does not want to be reminded of that. And I just thought that was great.
Yeah,
and is consistent with why didn't Vader ever go to Tatooine? Why would it be stupid to hide Luke on Tatooine? Because wouldn't Vader go there? No, because that's going to remind Vader of back when he was Anakin, and he didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So anything,
and they kind of play off that on the Vader comics. We talked about how he goes to Geonosis, and the first thing he remembers is when I walked in here with Padme and I kissed her before we went in.
Yeah.
And like you even get the sense from the comic, I don't like this because like that's what it reminds me of. Yeah. It reminds me of me being Anakin, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing is like he's got that entire series all to himself and everything, and not once has the character contradicted anything they've shown so far in Rebels.
Nice.
I mean, they've pretty much kept it consistent across all media.
Very good.
So.
But yeah, I would like to believe that Ahsoka is alive.
I do not think we've seen the last of her.
Well, you know,
I do think we've seen the last of her in Rebels.
Yeah, I think you're right. I
sure.
think that's it for her, based on what Filoni said. You know, Filoni talked about how there are more stories to tell with her.
Yeah.
And it seems like maybe some of those are post this moment stories.
Mm-hmm.
But it raises still then the question, it's like, well, if she survived this, don't you guys think she has to die by the time episode 4 rolls around?
After this, I don't think so.
Because she's no Jedi.
Exactly.
She's not a Jedi. She's, you know, it's different.
Yeah.
So.
And again, you know, I think it's still down to Vader let her go, and he's just like, I'm just not gonna fool with that anymore. You know, she said she's no Jedi. You know, she almost took my face off. You know, and you know, basically, like it's almost kind of like if I run across her again, I will kill her.
Yeah.
But you know, let's just hope it. I'm not gonna go look for her.
Yeah, exactly. If you knock on my door, it's on. Yeah. But.
And I kind of, you know, to me, that's what her walking away kind of represents. Is like, I can't kill him.
Yeah.
Because if I meet him again, I will kill him.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to stay down here and leave it alone.
We've got to stay away from each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't, so I don't necessarily think that they have to kill her at this point.
Yeah.
I think, in my personal opinion, they've ended that really well. Like, it's just kind of at a stalemate.
Yeah.
And it'll stay at a stalemate till after Return of the Jedi is over and he's dead.
Right. It's funny. This is the second time, if that theory is correct, and I hope it is, this is the second time that they've been able to find a way to keep Ahsoka from dying with all the other Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, kudos to them.
Yeah.
Definitely kudos to them. So, the end of the episode actually kind of wraps up like the end of a movie, a Star Wars movie, because music, no dialogue.
Yep.
Ezra is upset because he didn't get to help, Ahsoka. Let's see. We see Darth Maul. He told us that we'd see him again. He's flying out, in the ship. We've got, let's see, our heroes return to the base, and there's the moment there when Rex is kind of like looking for Ahsoka, and I think like maybe it's Ezra kind of gives them a look.
Yeah.
And a thing we didn't mention was at the beginning of the episode, as they're going to Malachor, when Ahsoka and Rex are talking via hologram, and there's like a callback to some of their first. Conversations with each other about outranking and experience outranks everything. I was like, oh, yeah, that's sweet. And the fact that apparently they were on the hunt for Darth Maul together in a story that we don't know about.
Yeah, right.
Very cool.
Yeah, very
cool. So, let's see. We've got that. We've got, of course, the imagery of Ahsoka. We've got Anakin. And then we end with Ezra
opening that holocron.
Opening a Sith holocron, which you're apparently not supposed to be able to do except through the use of Sith teachings.
Right.
So
that boy is going bad.
Think so?
I have a feeling what's going to end up happening with him. I have a feeling at this point, Vader is going to get a hold of him and basically make him an Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And Kanan is gonna. I think Kanan's gonna come after him, and both of them are gonna die.
Yeah. And if that does happen,
in the process,
yes. And if that happens, that's exactly would be what the Grand Inquisitor said. Like if you fight, he's gonna turn to the dark side. You're gonna be destroyed. Boom.
Yep.
So. That's that.
It's looking pretty bleak for Rebels.
It is. But what's some beautiful music at the end of the episode?
Oh, yeah. It's really good.
I thought that, of course, Kevin Kiner always does a good job, but did a good job here. Did you know that Kevin Kiner is one of the composers on the new Transformers show?
I did not
the
know
Bumblebee
that.
show? I didn't tell you that I watched the first episode of that because first season's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
So
is it good?
It's not bad. It takes place in the Prime continuity. I mean, it's a sequel to Transformers Prime, and oh goodness, what's the actor's name? Plays Bumblebee.
Oh, Will
Friedle. Thank you. Yeah. Will is doing a more adult voice. He's not doing a kind of a kiddie kind of voice. So this Bumblebee is, he's kind of more mature.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, I've only seen the first episode, but it was pretty good. So, and like Peter Cullen's there's Prime, and this kind of, is he a ghost? Is he not? Prime's not even sure. And that's what's interesting. Prime's like, I don't know. I just know that the universe still has something for me to do or something kind of like that. But I don't know where or how long. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I had to look at that.
You should. So anything else that we have not mentioned about this episode?
I don't think so. It was fantastic.
It was really, really good. The credits on the Wikipedia, or on the Rebels Wiki, they have Matt Lanter cast or credited as Darth Vader's mask malfunctioning voice, but the way he was credited in the show was Anakin.
Oh.
Like, if you look at the credits, it's got Darth Vader, James Earl Jones, Anakin, Matt Lanter.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
I like that.
Pretty neat.
So, like, at this point, it's like, since you're going to do that, since you're going to have an animated version of this that's two different actors, go ahead and do another slight tweak, special edition to Return of the Jedi, and put Hayden Christensen in that shot.
I know.
I mean, no disrespect to Sebastian Shaw,
right?
No, at all. But just to keep everything just straight, consistent.
Yeah.
Put the guy in the shot.
Would love it.
I mean, it would just make everything sync up so much better.
It would. It really, really would.
And it would also take out the English accent.
Yes.
Like,
sister, you're right about me. No, right.
I mean, no disrespect to anybody with English accents. Our
right.
friends at Radio Free Indoor.
Exactly.
But
we love it, but
he don't have an English accent the rest of the time.
Yes.
I mean, have you noticed that James Earl Jones has actually curbed his Darth Vader voice too?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He doesn't speak with as much of an English accent or the New England type thing.
Right, it's a little more Midwestern-y.
Yeah.
Closer to that, yeah.
Because that first started in episode 3.
Right.
When
is that possible? And,
yeah.
Where is
she all right?
Is she all right? Not is she all right?
Yeah.
It was just, which it made sense.
Yeah.
It's like, why would he not talk with an English accent 3 minutes ago?
Yeah.
And now he's like, oh, pippity poppity, let's go get some cookie biscuits. Why would he do? That wouldn't happen. It just would not happen.
Right. So, put the guy in the movie.
Put him. Do it.
And put Hayden Christensen in episode 8.
Yes. And give me an Obi-Wan movie.
Yeah.
Give me an Obi-Wan TV show. Give me Obi-Wan post-call. So
how interesting would it be if since they're doing this new show after Rebels, and if it takes place after Return of the Jedi, how about Ahsoka show up there?
Old Ahsoka. Yeah. Although she wouldn't be that old.
Not really.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, the difference in time between the Rebels is about 3 years before episode 4. And the time between episode 4 and episode 6 is only about, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
6 years maybe tops. So it's only 8-9 years later.
She'd be like in her, early 40s or mid 40s, something like that.
That's not bad. So
put her in.
Do it.
I mean, and that would be neat too. That all animation, all Lucasfilm animation
has Ahsoka in it.
Has Ahsoka.
It's like she's like the good luck charm or something like that.
Because what I personally think would be just freaking awesome is if after Return of Jedi after the Return of the Jedi show,
yeah,
like if they focused on like put freaking Mark Hamill in there,
yeah,
and put and make him at least I wouldn't say a main character, but
at least a heavily recurring character.
Yeah, and talk about him rebuilding the Jedi Order,
exactly,
and have her be one of them.
Yes. Or
be like, I knew your daddy, and I can tell you everything about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would just be so tickety tight.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And have little baby Kylo Ren come in there. I hate all of you. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's that.
Yeah.
That's the finale.
Yeah.
So, who knows where this season 3 will go? But we'll be excited to find out.
If we know Disney like we do, in a couple of months we'll find out because they'll just start it up randomly.
Yeah, one day we'll be like, oh, new episode's coming out next week.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Like, when did season 2 start? Like, they had the Siege of Lothal thing, and that was in the summer, right?
Yeah, that was in the summer.
So maybe they'll do a movie thing for season 3.
That'd be nice.
Neat. Yeah.
They should do that, and then we could start in again after that, and maybe Obi-Wan could show up again. I don't know that he will, but maybe he could.
I think he will this season.
Yeah.
I think so. Especially if it's going to be, if they do go with this being the last season thing. Yeah. I think he'll show up.
I like that.
In some way.
Yeah.
I think they'll crash land on Tatooine or something.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Talk to old Jedi Master Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it's like, hey, he wouldn't leave, but that don't mean you can't come to him.
Exactly.
Maybe that's how you know that he's on Tatooine. Well, no, you already knew that because you knew where he went. Never mind. I was be all like, they had to know, but it's like, yeah, they had a conversation about it in episode 3.
Yeah.
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 Still though, we don't know that Bail Organa knew where he was going. He probably did, yeah. So, I'm you know, and where's Kanan gonna end up in all this? The fact that Ezra opened that, is he gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go hurt people right now, or is he gonna like close it real quick and hide it and freak himself out? I mean, you know, there's.
I think it would be interesting if he just keeps it from him.
Yeah.
If he's like, I'm secretly a bad guy.
Yeah. And I would want him to be like, I'm going to use this stuff for good. Like, show that whole, you know, delusion of using evil for good, and how that consumes you. Yeah, I think that would be nice. I want to see Admiral Akbar because I like Admiral Akbar.
That would be nice.
And what else?
Because at this point, like especially if this is going to be the last season. It really, 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 really needs to emphasize the building of the Rebel fleet. Yes. Because by the time of episode 4, it's pretty big.
Yeah, they've got it.
And even more so by episode 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to start having you got to start having X-Wings. Yep. That's one thing.
Yep. Start showing me some X-Wings.
Yeah.
Look! We got real fast A-Wings. Now we got this thing.
And I do wonder what the tie-ins and references to Rogue One are going to be. Right.
Yeah. Because if it premieres in the fall, that'll be right up against Rogue One. So you know it'll be there. You know because here's the time where this show and this movie that take place in roughly the same period of time are out about the same time. So it's going to happen. Yeah. Say, watch this cartoon show about stuff. Now go see this horrible, scary Star Wars movie. All right, then.
Yep, I guess we're done.
I guess that's it. So, like I say, when the Blu-ray comes out, we'll rejoin our season 2 fun. Mm-hmm. And until then, catch us over at the Inner Dorkdom. Yep. Where we will be talking about, I don't know, probably, Civil War. We're not going to talk about Batman versus Superman. Yeah, because we're not going to go see it.
Nope.
But we will talk about Civil War. We'll talk about. We'll probably talk about that new Star Trek movie. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about the.
We're going to go see that.
I think we should.
Oh, Nick, I don't want to.
I know. I know. Maybe we should. it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Yeah. But Independence Day. We got
Independence Day.
That'll be good.
For sure.
For sure. Yep. So we'll be talking about stuff over there. We've got E3. Maybe we'll have some fun video game stuff. Maybe we can talk about Nintendo's new console. Maybe they'll reveal that. Yeah. So could be some exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right then.
And you can email us at rebelscast smg at gmail.com. Now, we'll still check that email. Not that you'll write us anything.
Right, yes, stinking losers.
But if you do, that'd be cool too. And then you got, of course, theinnerdorkdom@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook, Southgate Media Group, and all the other podcasts there. And our friends over at Radio Free Indoor.
Yes, please do. Sounds good. Yeah. Well, folks, thank you for listening. Hope you've enjoyed Season 2 of Rebels. We look forward to seeing you again for Season 3 of Rebels and the episodes in Season 2 that we missed. So until then, y'all be good now and, look at the TV. And I'm Nick Weymouth.
And I'm Josh Shaw.
And we will see you in the future.
Rebels Cast is not endorsed by Lucasfilm Limited or Disney and is intended for entertainment purposes only. Star Wars and all Star Wars items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective copyright or trademark holders. You can email Nick and Josh at rebelscastsmg@gmail.com, join the Rebels Cast Facebook page, visit their website at innerdorkdom.com, and visit southgatemediagroup.com to enjoy podcast content covering the entire spectrum of entertainment. For everyone at Rebels Cast, I'm Microsoft David. Thanks for listening and may the Force be with you. End of line.
Spotters don't like you, boys. Shut up.
Just quit trying.
Just stop it.